Is everything working? Is it working? And it's working, it looks like. But not on my phone. I might have to reset my phone. Let me try it again on the phone, because I actually have my phone up for moderation purposes this time, because my screen is going to be occupied with trucks. Yeah. Alright, let's see if it's working. Why does it say offline on my phone? Can't play that. Good lord, what a way to start, huh? Come on, phone. Okay. Alright, and it's working. Yay! And if you're ever coming in saying hi, hi! Yeah, back for the first time in a while. I didn't mean to be gone. May was kind of a weird month, not gonna lie. It was kind of a month of existential crisis after existential crisis. My health has gotten better, thankfully. I'm still trying to be just very mindful of my condition. But yeah, whereas the tail end of April was like, I think I might be dying. Most of May was just like, what is this? What is my life? TJ, get off the desk, please. I'm gonna start driving a truck. You need to sit in the back of the truck, okay? Sit in the back of the truck? Good cat. See, there's another reason why the title is accurate. This is why you shouldn't let former Burnout Girlies drive. Because then they'll bring their cats, and the cats will cause chaos in the cabin. So, yay. I'm glad you weren't. Yeah, I am glad that I'm a lot physically better too. Yeah, I'm gonna be frank. Last time I streamed did not go the way that I anticipated. It did not live up to my standards that I want to present when streaming. So I unlisted it. I didn't delete it, I unlisted it, just for the sake of my own sanity and well-being. I didn't delete the link from everywhere, so there are still ways to find it, but for me, I didn't really like how it turned out, especially toward the end, so yeah! I unlisted it for now. Will it come back in the future? Maybe in clip form, but that's the most I'm comfortable with it at the moment. But yeah. I've had a lot of existential crises, mostly just based on like, what kind of content do I want to make? I have a lot more possibilities than I did before. So I've also just been busy filming like real life stuff. Like I've filmed myself cooking for the first time with my camera, and it's so cool. And it's freaking great, and I love it. The thing about cooking content though is that, oh my god, filming takes forever. Like I literally spent all weekend just trying to film myself making sugar cookies. And oh good god. Cat, no, please, no. I'm going to drive. Get in the back of the cabin. Get off of the console, cat. Hold on, I have a paper towel roll. Well, actually, it's from a roll of aluminum foil. And it's a nice thick cardboard. You hear that? Hear that slap? Of course, I don't hit my animals. I just like the sound when it's that much of a thick cardboard. So what I've started to do, because TJ's been kind of a butt face about being on the desk, is that I have to just kind of gently guide her away from the monitor with the tube. What she has done with the tube is that she likes rubbing her face against it, and she likes being pet with the tube that's used to discipline her. So that she found a way to turn a punishment into something beneficial for her, because that's just what she does. That's just who she is all the time. So, yeah. It's a nice thick tube. I've used, like, regular paper towel rolls before, but, she bit through them pretty easily. So when I noticed the, aluminum foil, paper tube was really thick, I'm like, okay, I'm keeping this. But yeah, that's actually precisely why she likes it and likes rubbing her face against it. Because it's a nice, thick, smooth tube. So, it's not really working for cat discipline. Like, at all. But yeah, so I'm still trying to get her to not be on the desk. It's not working very well. And, yeah, I've just been busy with a lot of stuff, existential crisis after existential crisis, and also just filming content off stream. Because, the thing is that I could theoretically try to find a way to stream from another room, but but I can't do it from the living room because that's where I share a wall with a neighbor, and sometimes they play copyrighted music. So I can't do that. And my kitchen has no space to put any sort of computer setup. And then my previous laptop that I was using before I was generously gifted the machine that I have now, would probably explode and start a fire if I tried using OBS or launching any of the games that I play now on it, so yeah, I can't use the laptop anymore. So currently it really only exists as an archive of some files and other things that I still haven't moved on this computer. But that's besides the point. Yeah. The reason why I ended up choosing American Truck Simulator is because I have just kind of been busy, and I was like, I don't know if I have the energy to play any of the other games that I would normally want to play. So let's just do something relaxed. So that's why I picked American Truck Simulator. But because I'm a former Burnout Girlie, I mean, I still love Burnout, but, you know, there just hasn't been a new game in the series for so long. I don't know if I should be trusted to drive. But yeah. But also in the spirit of that, the music playing in the background, I'm like, okay, what's like some copyright free or like wouldn't get me dinged for copyright burnout-ish music that I can play on stream? So I decided to go with the Sonic Adventure 2 OST. So I tried to look up some of the instrumentals for the songs. I can't find like 30-minute compilations of them like I normally do. So I just have the instrumental for Throw It All Away just playing on a loop, and the song is like 5 minutes long, so it's just a loop of 5 minutes, so if that gets annoying, I'll try to just look up another instrumental so it's not as grating. Yikes, I've been trying to get off, I'm trying to get a PC since my old since my laptop was old. That's the crazy thing and the sad thing, they do not build laptops like they used to. I remember having a laptop from the 4th grade. It still works. It still technically works, but you can't connect it to the internet or it'll get, like, all the viruses. And it has a battery life, like, unplugged of 30 minutes. But it still works, compared to 2 Windows 7s that I used. One where the battery literally exploded. And one that was converted to a Windows 10, but that came with a whole bunch of hoopla attached to it. And then everything else I've used after that is Windows 10, and they haven't been great. You just kind of get what you get these days with laptops. It really is a crapshoot, because they're more for work than anything serious. So I'm so glad that I have a desktop now. Yeah, like theoretically, maybe I could get like a quote-unquote gaming laptop in the future to try to stream from another room and stream myself cooking, but that's just not in the cards right now. And even if it were, I don't have the space in the kitchen with which to set up a computer. The best I could do is set up a series of foldable tables. But yeah, as is, I just don't have the space. But anyway. But yeah, so, I already started a file. This is us. This is my profile. Named Sam S, level 0, with 4 XP. And I called the shipping company Streamline Shipping, because we're on a stream! Although, what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do because the name wouldn't fit, I would have loved to just call the company Kiki's Delivery Service. And just basically roleplay as, like, Kiki, but she lost her ability to fly and just made a trucking business as her delivery service. That would have been hilarious, but the name didn't fit, so... yeah. Alright, so... we're gonna take up some jobs. I started a new profile just for the stream. Because I've played this game a lot off-stream before. Whoops. Oh yeah, another thing. I would have started this earlier, but... the game updated at some point, and all the controls got really weird. So I manually had to change all the controls to make it easier to play for myself and, like, reflect the old controls that I was used to. And I forget, let me say for a second, I thought you said Sam ass. Well, the funny thing is about my initials is that they do present a lot of, like, wordplay and very punny opportunities. Like, if you say Sam S, like, fast enough, it sounds like Samus from Metroid. But yeah, as you pointed out, it does sound like Sam ass. So I need to learn how to enunciate. Let's see. You know, let's work for the railroad company and just take a bunch of fruit juice to him. That sounds cool. Alright, so I also disabled the in-game mirrors because there are mirrors for the UI, but they're super duper unrealistic. And I wanted more realistic mirrors. I even downloaded a mod for more realistic mirrors, so I'm relying on the mirror over here. Because the reason why I played this game so much off-stream and offline was because I'm actually using it to teach myself how to drive. Like in real life. Which, because this is a game, I kinda get them burnout flashbacks and I drive kinda recklessly, but at least I'm teaching myself traffic law, which is, you know, better than nothing. And then on top of that, the developers of American Truck Simulator actually added a driving school mode for those who are actually using the game as a tool to learn how to drive. I haven't played that yet, but it's like, oh my god, developers are so cool. So one day I will have to mess around with that, especially if I can get my hands on like a steering wheel controller. Because, like, you know, there's only so much I can learn from, you know, using my Xbox controller. So, like, if I had the most realistic steering wheel controller that I could possibly get that could possibly exist in the market, that'd be freaking awesome. And then, you know, I could just practice realistic driving at home. Especially with the driver's school mode. Yeah, it'd be really cool, but, steering wheels are surprisingly expensive, and then there was one that I had my eye on for the longest time, which I added to my Throne wish list, but for some reason it kept going in and out of stock, and then I kept getting crazy notifications for it, and that got annoying, so I just kind of put it in safe for later and forgot about it. That's my turn signal, because if you're supposed to turn, you want to press the signal every time. No one's behind me. So yeah, this is me trying to be a responsible driver. Me trying to actually prove that I've been learning a bit. I don't know how long this is going to last, though, to be perfectly frank. I could start crashing any minute. Anyway. Here I am. Oh, god, goodness, this is so slow. Come on. And, okay, so the turn signal turns off automatically sometimes, and sometimes it takes a while. I guess it depends on, like, if the game thinks you've taken the full turn. But as a result of that, sometimes I accidentally press the button, and then there's the ticking in the background, and then I can't stand it. And then supposedly in real life, the turn signal... Because the way I have it set up on my gamepad is to have the turn signals be, like, the top bumpers. Like R1 and L1. But, in real life, apparently it's like a switch off to the left, so you're supposed to flick it with your thumb. And you're supposed to flick it to the left to signal that you're turning left, and then you're supposed to flick it down to signal that you're turning right, which is so weird. Like, you'd think it would be easier just to add some, like, R1 and L1 style buttons on the steering wheel itself, and that could be your turn signal, but no, apparently not. But, you know, I'm also speaking as someone who, like, never learned how to drive, who doesn't have anyone in their immediate family who knows how to drive, and, yeah. So there's that. So, like, of course I'm gonna find cars weird. I certainly like being a passenger in cars. Like, Mr. Blue's a really good driver. And it's fun going on little road trips with him. But other than that, I never learned how to drive myself, and this is the only sort of driving experience I have. And it's through a game. Where I am where I am entirely self-taught, and oh, I already have 69 points of damage. Nice! That's cool. Hi, TJ. Sit back in the cabin. Sit back in the cabin, stop getting on the console. I can't look at you right now, sweetie. I have to keep my eyes on the road. I know. It sucks for me, too. But, you know, I'm driving. I need to be responsible. I gotta get this fruit juice to the rail station. But yeah, let me see it. Cool. The honk button still works. Oh, and it's overcast, so I need to turn on my lights. Because when it's overcast, you're supposed to turn on your lights, I think. And then around, like, 5 or 6 in the evening, you're supposed to turn on, like, you know, the big headlights. Yeah. I don't know what things are called. I'm just... This is me being entirely self-taught. Cat? No. Cat? No. Ah! Kitty! You made me look away from the road. That's very dangerous! It's very dangerous, and you made me turn my turn signal on. Well, maybe I could take my hands off the road just to, you know, just pet you for like 2 seconds, but I gotta keep my hands on the road. I'm not gonna drive with my knees like a barbarian. I'm not that kind of driver. I know better than to do that. I might be a former Burnout Girlie, but I can't drive with my knees. You know, they say hands on 10 and 2 for a reason. Ah, but yes, like, the other thing about American Truck Simulator is that it's just one of those games that I play to relax. It is very addicting and honestly kind of a boring gameplay loop, but it's just, you know, look at the scenery. Look at this simulated version of Washington State. Where it's safe, please. It's okay, Cat. We might have flipped over, but we're gonna be fine. I know. I'm sorry that I flipped us over. Not even like what, 10 minutes? But yes, I'm gonna need a call for help. Kitty, no, get back in the cabin. My boss is gonna complain if they know that you're with me in the vehicle. You know, we're just a freelancer. They don't know that you're secretly doing my deliveries with me. Think about it like this, Cat. If we're spiritually role-playing as Kiki's delivery service, then you're basically Gigi. And, you know, they can't know that you're here. Alright, so where the heck do I go? I like how they have a couple humans that are just, like, around. Obviously, they're not a main focus, but it makes the world feel more alive. Where the heck am I? Okay. We have plenty of gas, we're not too tired, so we can skadoodle on out of here. Come on. Oh, I'm horrible at making these turns. Nice job, don't wreck this one. No promises. I wasn't gonna say anything, I was gonna lurk, but after seeing this, I gotta take it out of my state. Anyway, I'm lurking again. Oh my god, Cat, no! No! Get back in the cabin! Get back in the cabin! Don't crawl on my console! No! Get back in the truck! Get in the back of the truck! Please. Please, get in the back of the truck. In the back of the truck. Ouch, Cat! Stop it! Get in the back of the truck. Please. And please don't knock over my collection of Sims stuff in a box that I also keep in the truck, because of course I do. Come on. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get. And see, you biting and scratching the tube is why I got a thick paper tube. Come on. You know what I think? I think we need to go to that gas station. I think we need to go to that gas station so I can, get this cat some wet food. So she can get off of the console and stay in the back of the truck. Oh, and... Oh, of course I crashed in the... oh, come on, cat. Cat? Cat, no! Come on. I'm gonna go to the gas station. We're gonna get you some wet food. And, of course, I'm crashing into things again. Come on! Oh, I don't know how to turn. You know what? I'm just gonna step out of the vehicle. And I'm gonna get you some wet food. Because you need to calm down. Come on. Come on, get out of the vehicle. We're going to get wet food. Alright, I got some... I'm now back in the vehicle. And you know, that convenience store, it really was convenient. They just had like a bin of wet food. I didn't have to pay for it or anything. That was cool. So, yeah, now the girls have wet food. And, yeah. Back to driving. Nephew, I was saying this reminds me of my brother's dog who insists on laying on the driver's lap. He's a big dog. Oh my god, yeah, that's kind of the thing about big dogs, is that they don't realize that they're the big dogs. They think they're the small dogs, but they don't realize that their dog hardware is big. But yeah, I don't know what her obsession with the desk is. It's still a really big problem. And it's like, I can't even use a spray bottle with water because, one, that's really mean, and then two, you know, computer stuff and art stuff and sewing stuff is on the desk, so... And turn. Actually, a silly fact about me that also connects to Kiki's delivery service is that when I was a kid, my grandpa, he would take us out on, like, car trips and stuff, because he's the only member of my family that knows how to drive. But, you know, we don't really see him as often anymore, so, yeah. But he knew how to drive. He had a car for a very long time. And he would always take my grandmother and I, especially, to the mall. So if we were going by car, he would drive us there, and on the way there was kind of like a big turn, like up a hill, like a big round turn. And because I watched so much Kiki's Delivery Service as a kid, like, whenever I saw, like, a big round turn like that, I just kind of leaned into the turn. And I know that's a thing you're supposed to do on bikes, and it'll have no effect to the car, but I did it anyway. So, like, whenever I see a big round turn like that, I just instinctively lean in toward the turn, because I'm a child. Yeah, so, like, let me see. Deliveries expected... okay, well, we're in the delivery window. Oh, crap, we're in the delivery window, so, we're probably gonna get there really late. But, I mean, hey, we're doing our best. Oh, yeah, while the girls have their wet food in the back of the cabin, I have some chalky milk. Ran out of tea. Tea would have been a much easier drink to drive with, but I ran out. Oh, the coppers? Okay. Slow down just enough. Don't want them to run my plate and figure out that I'm a crazy person behind the wheel. And you hear that, guys? It's just blissful silence. No kitties jumping on the console. Just blissful silence as the both of them eat in the back of the cabin. It's wonderful. It's music to my ears. They're such beautiful cats, but they're both extremely spicy and crazy. But I still love them regardless. Alright, hand off the wheel for just a second so I can okay. Take a sip of my chalky milk. You know, I'm gonna say, like, you know how, like, people, like, eat and drive at the same time? I don't get how you could do that. I feel like if I were actually, you know, the driver in a vehicle, I would either try to have people feed me or I would just refuse to eat. Because I feel like I would need to focus 100% on, you know, looking at the road. I mean, that being said, I've also just, you know, fed the people who have driven me around sometimes. But I don't know if I could, like, accept that in turn, because, I don't know. The idea of getting behind, like, the wheel of an actual car makes me nervous, just because I'm me. It makes me nervous because I'm me, and I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. And, like, in games, drive with music is different, but I feel like I would be the kind of person where I can't drive with any music in the car at all. I feel like that'd be too much of a distraction. Oh, sorry! I just gotta get this delivery done. Is that a cop car? Is that a cop car or is that a truck? Okay, no, it's just a regular car. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But yeah, scenery's really nice. Like, what do you guys think is back there? Like, oh, sorry! Is it like corn or something? Like corn that hasn't, not blossom. I don't know what the term is for non-flowers. Yeah, just, you know, a little bit of speeding won't hurt. And then if we get in the emergency lane, there is no speed limit, so, this does not constitute actual driving advice. I'm just being silly. Because, you know, I'm a streamer. Alright. Oh! Yes! Okay, we got past that guy without crashing. Nice. But yeah, like, in this lane over here, which I'm told by people who I know who can drive is the emergency lane, you know, there is no speed limit. So we're going 14 over the speed limit of 60, we're no longer in the red because there is no speed limit in the emergency lane. Oh, and I went the wrong way. Okay, let me see if I can finagle this up. Oh, come on. Stop! 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 Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's fine. Alright, well, at least we can just turn around. Come on, truck. Keep on trucking. We are like lean into our turn, even though we are not a bike. All right. Yeah, like driving like within the speed limit feels so slow, and it's a game. Like, I don't know, like, being in a real vehicle feels a lot faster even on, like, very low speed limits and all that, so... It's kind of interesting that, like, a regular speed limit feels a lot slower in the game. But even trying to, like, capture speed in a game is, like, a science in and of itself. But I'm not a game developer or anything like that, so I don't know how it really works. But yeah, like, part of the reason I end up speeding is because it's like, it's a game, I want to go fast, and then, like, going 30 in real life is pretty fast, and it feels fast, so I would like it to feel fast in the game to, like, really replicate the feeling of driving. So that's my one big thing about the game, where it's like, as someone who got into it to try to teach themselves how to drive, I would like it to try to capture, like, the real speed of the actual car, of the, like, yeah. I'm losing my ability to talk. Is that a red light? No, we accidentally violated it. Sorry! We're also getting tired. Oh, and I received a gift from Adam live on stream. Thank you so much. I can't really check it though because I'm in the middle of a moving vehicle. So I'll check it at the next rest stop or when I get this delivery, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, my vehicle's malfunctioning. Okay, green light. Thank you. You're not supposed to do that in real life, by the way, but this is a game, so... Oh, my turn signal was on the entire time. That was a whoopsie. Is that a green light? Okay, yes. That's what I needed, my turn signal. Okay. Come on, car. Come on. Well, no, why do I keep calling you a car? You're a truck. Driving a truck is a lot harder than a car. Yeah. But, like, at least this way, even if it's not like a one-to-one, at least I am teaching myself traffic law. And I'm basically teaching myself and others not to do the kind of shenanigans that I do because I am just burnout-brained. So, like, in a game, of course I'm gonna be silly as all hell, but in real life, I don't even know if I'll survive. Like, behind the wheel of a car. Like, my aunt last summer was like, you know what? I've spent all these years not knowing how to drive. I'm gonna try to learn how to drive. So she went to driving school, and she found, like, a random... like a random steering wheel controller that was waterlogged, so she cut all the wires and drained the controller of all the water that was in there. And was using it to, you know, try to make herself comfortable with the steering wheel. And she offered it to me. She was like, oh, you want the steering wheel? I was like, I can't use it if it doesn't have any, like, wires to connect it to the computer, but thank you! And yeah, so she was preparing herself, and then on the day of, like, the actual driving test, you know, where you're behind the car, she had a panic attack and failed the test. So I think I'm gonna probably end up being like that, at least for the first couple tries. Assuming that I can get multiple tries to try the actual driving portion of the test. Because I think there's also stuff you have to read and online quizzes you have to pass ahead of time before you even get the permit. Oh my god, again with the cabin. Come on, cat. Please stop jumping on the console of this truck. This truck is a rental. It's loaned out to us by the company. And I made, like, no money. Cat, stop it. You are mean today. What the hell is up your ass? Come on. Come on, you. I'll pet you with my actual hands if you stop being a butt. Come on, you. Get out of there. Her other problem is that she likes sitting, like, in the little nook that I've unintentionally made with the computer fans and all that, so I don't want her to suffocate the PC. But she keeps finding her way in there. Oh yeah, that was a horrible job, but, I'm doing my best. I just need to make money for me and these cats. Alright, but now that we have, achieved a job. Not even a job well done, but a job. But, yeah. Yay. Let's see what happened on Steam. Yay. Yeah, so, live on stream, I received a gift on Steam from Adam, and The message on the gift says, seriously, get out of my state! Here, Texas has crazier drivers, you'd fit in. I hope you take this as a joke. Believe me, I know I drive crazy in games, but thank you so much! Ah! Although because it's been received live, like, either the game is gonna update in real time, like on stream, or something. So in the event of that, let me just kick out- oh wait, no, I don't have my sensor screen on this mode. Crap! So I'm actually using a completely different layout, because my usual layout is a much smaller monitor, and this emphasizes the game screen. So I'm gonna need to get my sensor screen, just in case. I don't want things to flash before your innocent eyeballs. But yeah, I forgot that I didn't set up the sensor screen for this alternate overlay. That was a whoopsie on my part. Okay, so I don't want it to flash any information. So keeping that up momentarily, because again, I don't know if the game's gonna update in real time. Okay, it doesn't appear to be the case, but let me just save anyway. See if there's any changes. Just a second. Because in addition to, like, changing all the default controls, they also changed, some of the navigational menus in the game, which is really annoying because I was so used to the old layout and, like, the quirky style of the old layout. Let me actually go to title screen, see if it updates automatically or if I would have to quit and start again. Think I might have to quit and start again. Alright, so to see the Texas content, I'm gonna quit momentarily. And then I'm just gonna launch the game again. Come on, game. And it's loading up. Yeah, because, like, all the states are sold individually, but as they go to the West Coast, as they go to the East Coast with, like, some smaller states, the developer said that they'll bundle a few of them. Because each state is individual, as you get more and more of the state DLCs, they just kind of load into your game one at a time. And then it kind of just patches a new version of the game each and every time you get a new DLC, basically, so yeah. So that's why I was like, is it gonna update automatically, or I'm gonna have to hit it and quit it? But let me see. Is it there? No, apparently it's not. That's so weird. Let me check if I need to click anything with Steam. Check my DLC real quick. Yeah, it says it should be installed, so... That is so odd. And then if I check world map... Yeah, so Texas is still not lit up. Strange. Let me actually... I'm gonna quit again. I'm gonna try to verify the files, give the game time to look, let me... Alright, hold on a second. Before I do any of that, let me just look. I'll launch it again. And I'm coming a whisper from the void. Thank God. I can rest easy knowing you won't run me over. Also, just to the side, a truck did flip over on its side today. What a coincidence. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's horrible. No wonder your immediate reaction was, get out of my seat. That is just such serendipity. That is serendipity of the next order. Maybe it was like a time-dilated me. Like a parallel universe of me accidentally crashing into this dimension. And then the version of me native to this dimension is like, you know what, I want to play American Truck Simulator. Oh, that's horrible, though. Oh my God, hopefully everyone was okay in the turnover. Okay, now the Texas thing updated. So it says, whenever you get a new DLC, the game will pop up with a warning upon startup saying game change detected. Yeah. And then if you were saving in the middle of a job, because you can save in the middle of a job, but it's recommended that you don't do that, especially if, you know, you keep collecting the DLCs one by one. I think it'll automatically take you out of the job without a penalty. So if I look at the game map now... Alright, now I can take down the sensor screen. I don't know, like, people alt-tab all the time, and it just feels really weird to me. Like, alt-tabbing doesn't feel natural to me. I'm just so used to having everything windowed and being able to have my cursor escape the confines of a window, but with American Truck Simulator, no, your cursor is in there. It's locked in. No escape. Dang. Gary said, drive to St. Olaf. Oh, I wonder if St. Olaf is a town. But St. Olaf is in Minnesota. I think Minnesota is an up... Hold on. No, it's Missouri. Do they have Minnesota yet? Good question. I have no idea. Minnesota, that's Great Lakes, right? They don't have the Great Lakes states yet. Yeah. I don't know where Minnesota is actually, but it's a Great Lakes state, right? What do you mean, is it an ocean? I don't know all the US states, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit better at it though. Cause of this game mostly. So, you know, California, Nevada, Washington State, yes, Utah, Denver, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, you know, Texas, you can't miss Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas. Yes, this is Kansas. Other yes. I'm learning. I swear to God, I'm learning. Oh yeah, New Mexico. No, this is New Mexico. This is Arizona. Yeah, Arizona. This is geography with Author SSD. She's really bad at it. Yes, your avatar, like you were puppeting, a hair guy named Mike is alive, but did break his arm and a few ribs. Oh, that's horrible. I hope he recovers. There were also 3 cars that were totaled, but no lives lost. That's always good. That's the great thing about cars that are just well manufactured. And the cause was bad tires. Yeah, from what I've been told, bad tires, well, it's the difference between life and death. Like, there are people who try to make their tires last until all you have is just smooth. But sometimes, you know, you just need better tires. Because, you know, without them treads, you know, there's no grip on the road. Like, you need the friction. But, you know, like, sometimes you don't have the money to replace all your tires at once, so sometimes, you know, you do have to just kind of risk it for the biscuit when they're smooth until you can, you know, get it. And just, yeah. But I do hope everyone drives safe, unlike me and how I drive in games. Because I drive like a maniac. Oh yeah, speaking of driving, fun fact, I don't know if anyone noticed the thumbnail. But the thumbnail, I took a screenshot of this here garage. While the game was just kind of idling and I was setting up for stream, and then I just took a screenshot of it just when the truck was facing forward. And I didn't even put myself in the driver's seat because I couldn't fit. So I put myself in the passenger seat. But yeah, so far no one noticed it. I thought I was gonna, like... I wasn't doing it to bait people on purpose, but if anyone had mentioned it, I was gonna be like, yes, you win a sugar cookie. No one noticed it yet. But yeah, also, yeah, this is the thing that I screenshotted, and I was like, okay, let me put myself here because I'm not gonna be visible here, so I gotta put myself here. But also, in all seriousness, I do have a lot of sugar cookies because I was trying to record cooking content this weekend, and I'm not gonna be able to eat all of those myself. And I feel right for saying, I noticed that actual proof not to let burnouts drive. Yes, I am a danger to society because I play Burnout. Alright, so we're gonna need to earn more experience so that way we can drive longer distances. I just kind of stuck the company in Washington, but I think as you expand and as you can buy more garages, I think you have the opportunity to, like, run the business out of different states. But for now we're in Washington, so that might be a while, but we're gonna earn a lot of monies by driving. so that way we don't crash into Adam on the road. Alright, it's also 7. So we turn on my headlights. But also look, we're on a farm. It's a... Oh hey look, the cabin where the cats sit. Nice. Man, we're on a farm. It's so cool looking. Oh my god, I want to go in these little houses, but I can't because I'm in a truck. I'd love to rebuild these things in The Sims too, but the lot size in The Sims can only be so huge. So you would kind of have to just go into Create a World, put a bunch of lots next to each other, and then just plop all that stuff in a really close proximity to give the illusion of a large property like this. But yeah, farmland! That's another nice thing about driving in a car. It's the only way that I can see farmland. Thank you. Like, I remember... I believe it was around Thanksgiving. It was around Thanksgiving. It was, me and Mr. Blue's, like, first Thanksgiving-ish time together. At least I think it was Thanksgiving. I could be remembering it wrong. It was either Thanksgiving or Halloween. I can't remember. But he insisted on going apple picking. And I'm like, okay. So we did go apple picking, but, like, I'm a very urban girly. I am very much the person that's like, okay, apple picking is nice in theory, or it's nice in the school field trip, but then as an adult, it's, you know, and unless you live by the farm, it's not really much of a experience. And also it's gonna take a really long time to get there. But like on the drive there was just so nice. I got to see all this farmland, and I got to drive with the well, I didn't get to drive. Why am I saying that? Well, he was driving, and then I got to put the windows down. And it was really nice, just the vibe, but he doesn't like driving with the windows down, so I was like, okay, I'll put the window back up, I'm sorry. And, yeah. But it was really nice just seeing, like, all the farmland and all the greenery and all that. So, like, apple picking is kind of, like, hit or miss. It really depends on, like, when you go. It's a very seasonally timed thing. So, like, if you go too late or if you go too early, you're just not gonna have a good time. Unless there's other stuff at the venue to do. So I think we just went too late, so there just was not much to do, and all the apples were basically in bins already. So we couldn't actually do any apple picking, because what little apples were left on the trees were either going bad or just weren't ripe enough. So yeah. That was our experience apple picking. I enjoyed the drive there more than the actual apple picking itself. And that's also the time that I, that I corrupted some of his innocence by showing him one of the meme songs that I like. But, yeah. And he was like, why? Why do you know this song? And I'm like, oh yeah, I just went through a meme phase song. Like, a meme song phase when I was in high school. That's how I know the song. Yeah. But anyway, let's read chat. I don't know if the name is pronounced Ayu or Au. Because it's just the letter A and then the name U. Why you? Oh, whoopsie. Probably shouldn't look at my phone while I'm on the road. But anyway, you go, girl. You can do it. Practice makes perfect. Thank you. And a regular guy saying apple picking, Applebee's. No. Actually, so fun fact: me and Mr. Blue have actually devised like a little euphemism where, if one of us ever unironically says we're going to Applebee's, that means it's the end of our friendship. Because neither of us like Applebee's. So yeah, I just kind of associate Applebee's with the breaking off of friendships and relationships. Because my goodness, I hate the food there. You know what it's like to get a steak that's literally all tendon? No actual meat, but just all tendons? It's horrible. And I'm saying I'm scared that when you do get your license, you'll do a road trip around here. You'll just have it in Washington, and you just no! Why would I run people over? No! Oh, that's so mean. That's horrible. I play Burnout, where there are like no people to run over, just other cars that are like tissue paper that you're supposed to crash into for fun. And this is my attempt to try to learn how to drive realistically. Mostly. But yeah, there are no people by which to hit. Like, all the occasional humans you see are either, like, stuck in one place and have, like, a gigantic, like, you know, invisible barrier protecting them from harm. Or yeah, they're otherwise just super duper out of the way and you just can't touch them because there's, like, no routing data for me to go there to harm the humans. So it's just, you know, it's fine. I'm not gonna run people over on purpose. And I'm definitely not gonna run over any of you guys. It'd be horrible. I don't like how accurate this is. Yeah, so apparently, what the devs do whenever there's like a new DLC is that they basically just do a road trip in each state to try to capture the state as accurately as possible. So that's another reason why I'm using this as my simulation to try to learn how to drive. Yay. And in a way, it's also just kind of like, okay, well, what if I can't go to the actual place? Like, I could just have like a little virtual road trip, and that'll be really freaking awesome. And oh, I forgot. Okay, my headlights don't look like they're on, but they're supposed to be on. Maybe when it gets darker. I know these roads. Makes me want to do some road tripping of my own. Oh! Oh, hey, look, the sun! It's a nice sun. I wonder if we could actually, like, watch it, like, set in real time. That'd be a cool detail. I also need to check when, the delivery's due. It's expected from 11:40-ish to, you know, Tuesday in the morning, like around 6:30. I think it's going down in, like, real-ish time. Oh, that's really cool. Again, this game is like super duper scenic too. It's so relaxing. Also, I should get off of here before someone hits my rear end. Come on, car! Oh, and my check engine light is on. That's not good. Oh, and someone bumped into my trailer. But yeah, like, because this is just a game, I can be as silly as I want, but in real life, I'd probably just be the most silent, desperately trying to be focused driver out there. Like, the idea of getting behind the wheel of an actual car makes me nervous. Like, I feel like I can do it, I feel like driving is one of the things that I could do in theory in real life, but in practice I might actually just be horrible at it. Because my grandpa, because he was a mad lad, like, when I was super duper little, like, he would instruct me on how to drive, and I was like 5. We weren't actually driving, I was just sat in the front passenger seat when the car was parked, like, as we were waiting for Grandma to come out of the house, so we can go on one of our adventures, right? And he would teach me, like, how to drive. It's like, okay, this pedal is for gas, this pedal is, you know, the brake. Do you want to turn the steering wheel? And I'd be like, yeah! And then I would turn the steering wheel, and it was just cool. Like, little one-on-one time with Grandpa like that. And then, you know, Grandma would eventually leave the house and, you know, be ready to go, and then we'd go off an adventure, and I'd sit in the back like a good child, because I was a child. And then I had, one of my in-laws, I got to sit in the front passenger seat with them when we were out getting Ritas. Not a big fan of Ritas. I didn't grow up with Ritas, so I don't really have that connection to Ritas, but we were out getting Ritas, you know, for the family. And it was just me and, this in-law. And, you know, we're driving, and I'm sitting in the front passenger seat, and it's like, I feel like an adult, that's so cool. But yeah, that kind of led to an argument with my actual, like, blood family, because they were like, how dare you put her in the front passenger seat, she's a child! So, yeah. He might have accidentally done something accidentally illegal by having very young me sit in the front passenger seat. But hey, I mean, at least I wore a seatbelt, and I got some, like, first-hand driving experience. That was cool, but again, probably that was technically illegal. And then, another thing I've seen is, like, of, like, driving videos and stuff, like, people will have their actual, like, pets in the car, not in a kennel, but just having them, like, go crazy and just commit chaos in the car itself. And, like, you know, you shouldn't do that. You should just crate the animal. It's fine. They'll be fine. They might not like it, but it's safer for them. What if the car crashes and then Fido jumps out the window and you never see him again? No. That's horrible. I just noticed that when I'm getting, like, really deep and introspective, I somehow drive within the law. Well, okay, well, I keep forgetting about my turn signals, but, you know, that notwithstanding, I seem to drive a lot slower when I'm focused on telling a story. And my headlights are on, and it's getting dark, and there's stars in the sky, and it's freaking cool. But yeah. And someone by the name of Bruce Bikers is in the chat saying hello. And to you I say hello right back. Don't worry, most people around here don't use them. Oh yeah, like, did I ever tell the story on stream about how I almost got hit by a car? Like, in my neighborhood? So, I feel like my neighborhood has some of the worst drivers, because I've almost been run over more times than I can count on my 2 hands. But, like, the closest I ever got to, like, actually factually getting hit was because I was crossing the street, a street that I normally cross, like, all the time. And, the guy had a turn signal saying that he was turning right, and I'm thinking he's giving me the go-ahead to go. And this... yeah. So, you know, because his street light was on... because his turn signal was on, I think he's giving me the go-ahead to go. and this particular street doesn't really have like a cross the street light for, you know, pedestrians, right? Because some streets don't have that consistently. Like, it saves city resources, but also if you live in a very high traffic area, it's kind of a hazard. And all that. But because his turn signal's on, I think he's giving me the go-ahead to go, so I'm starting to cross, but then he's coming straight at me. So what do? Do I panic and do I try to run while he tries to run me over? No, what I end up doing is that I just give him, like, the coldest death stare I could possibly give him while I'm crossing. I make it safely across, but then he's, like, honking at me and being a total bitch at me, and it's like, your turn signal implied you were going to go right and let me pass. Why are you being a bitch if you're giving me the go-ahead to pass? Were you just trying to bait me into getting hit by your car? And that's the other scary thing about driving, is that if you're a reckless, I don't give a fuck kind of driver like that, you don't know who you're running over. And even if you are the most careful driver in the world, you don't know who's trying to cross the street, or you don't know who you might accidentally hit because of some other person's idiocy. So, yeah, it's horrible. That's another thing that just makes me horribly afraid of driving, as someone who's been a pedestrian their entire life. Because it's like, basically everyone's kind of the problem. It's pedestrians who sometimes don't really have the best etiquette. It's drivers who don't have the best etiquette when it comes to treating other pedestrians properly. And then it's the careful drivers who are caught in the middle of like, okay, how do I just not go to jail by hitting someone or something? Because there's chaos all around me, and I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. That's why I feel like driving would be a good skill to have, but I don't think I could ever own a car. Not that I could afford it anyway, but at least it'd be a nice skill to have. Because it's like, the example that I've been given is like, oh, if I'm on a road trip or like on one of my little adventures with Mr. Blue, it's like, what if he doesn't feel good behind the wheel? Are we just gonna be stuck on the highway somewhere because I can't legally drive and he's suffering and I can't get help? So yeah, it would be a nice skill to learn, but I'd still be really nervous about it. And then the idea of owning my own car, especially when I don't need one, like if I live in a pretty decent area with good public transportation, I definitely don't need a car in that instance, but then if it ever turns into a situation where I need a car to get around, I'm fucked. So that is another big thing that scares me about driving. Like, driving in games is very relaxing. But yeah, like when trying to learn how to drive realistically when you're so burnout brained like I am. Yeah. Can be kind of difficult and all kinds of anxiety inducing. But yeah, like I also just do really love Burnout. So like this kind of feels like the Burnout shaped hole in my heart, even though it's not trying to be a Burnout game. It's still just like a game I can play in first person while driving. Hooray! And I can play it without getting sick. Because at least with this game, at least, you know, the most you're doing is looking in different directions, but you're mostly just... Ah! Almost missed my turn. Oh, never mind, I can... Oh, but we're almost low on gas anyway, so... Kind of a lucky, happy accident. Alright, you know, while we're at the store, do you guys want anything from the convenience store? Any takers? Anyone want some, like, snacks or drinks? No beer in the vehicle, no alcohol in the vehicle while I'm driving, please. I don't want to get in trouble with my boss. I don't want the car to smell like alcohol. They have super juice for $3. Anyone want some of that? Oh, my truck has a nice pretty design on it. Can I get some potato chips? I'll take a slushy. Cherry, please. Okay. You know, I'll go to the convenience store, see what they have. I'm back in the vehicle. So, sorry they didn't have any slushies. Like, their slushie machine wasn't working, so I had to pass on the slushies. Potato chips, they didn't seem to have any potato chips. They had a lot of crackers and, like, cookies and things. They also had, like, a giant plate of sugar cookies, like, in the window. They didn't have any chips. But what they did have, that I took with me was, an aluminum foil tin of fries. So, you know, it's not like potato chips, but, you know, the British call, like, fries chips. It technically counts, I guess. What kind of gas station is this? I know, right? I swear, like, some gas stations are just so weird and quirky and funny. But, I mean, hey, we got fries. That's a potato chip of some kind. They're a little bit soggy, but I mean, you know, they're fries. Yeah, so sorry that trip was a bust. Alright, so let's get back on the road. Wait, they have fries? Give me, sure. Hold on a second. I'll feed you a fry. From the front of the vehicle, you're just gonna have to reach it. Just gonna have to reach it with your face. Okay, I'm holding out the fry. Okay, I'm holding out the fry. So you just gotta nom it with your face. I'm sorry, I'm stalling. I may or may not be trying to attempt the thing that I did with ENVtuber Overload that one time, where she was doing the, you know, the whole figurine stream thing, and then I actually posed my Nendoroid figure up to the screen. It's time to commit silliness. Oh, here comes the cat. Okay, crap. I don't know if it's gonna work. My phone's been bitching at me about storage space for so long, and it's like, you're a phone. When I turn off auto-updates, you should stop auto-updating. But no, I feel like turning off auto-updates is a lie. So it just continually bitches at me for space. And then as a result, I think because I'm running out of space, the camera gets blurrier when I lower on space, which is so weird. I didn't know phones could do that, but apparently mine does. Just get lots of ketchup. I don't, yeah, the gas station didn't have any ketchup, but, yeah, sorry. Okay, that joke took a little bit too long, but I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the result, so I will send it via Tumblr later. Okay, back to driving. As soon as I check who the heck messaged me. Okay, no one messaged me. It was just an update in the server that I'm in. Okie smoky. Okay, let's get back on the road. Oh yeah, I should probably also get... Oh, okay, for a hot second... I was so confused for a hot second because I was turning the wrong analog stick to turn around, but anyway... we're getting kind of tired, so we should try to find a rest stop. Rest up for a while. But then again, the delivery's expected between now and like 6:30 Tuesday. Well, I'm glad you're happy, but I'm seriously adding chips to my grocery list. Yeah, mood. I've been doing a lot of baking this weekend, so, like, my craving is, like, I would really like food that I didn't have to cook myself. Because I've just been going back and forth to, you know, bake cookies on one counter, and then bake them on the other counter, and then having to put them on a giant plate somewhere else. And currently, I still have cookies that need to be made. So what I did with the ones that were done is I just put them on a plate, and I just covered the whole plate in plastic wraps, wrapped it like a mummy. Um, and then, like, if I can bake the rest of the dough that I have, that's when I'll, you know, assemble it to be, like, a nice finished product that'll be cool and awesome and yeah. But also, I did not expect, like, trying to record myself, like, cooking to be so energy intensive. Like, I had to take very frequent breaks in between takes. One of the big things I've learned about driving is it's important to take a break every 2 hours. Recommended 10 minutes. That's the other thing, too. It's like, when you're on the computer, especially if you work with computers a lot and you find yourself, like, doing a lot of screen time, what you're supposed to do, for the sake of your eyes, is take a break and then just stare at something that isn't the computer or a screen every so often. Especially in the event that you can't get up and leave your desk or your computer area. So I'm actively trying to get better at that as well. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, because sometimes, like, oh, computer, fun, or like, oh, computer, I have to work, or, oh, computer, I'm in a flow state right now, and I need to do this thing that I really want to do, that I'm thinking of doing, and I can't stop thinking about it, so I need to do it before the flow state disappears. And then you get stuck on the computer for much longer than is probably healthy, and then you suffer for it later, so I gotta get better at, like, making sure I get up and do stuff. Yeah, like a nice night road, starry sky. I feel like driving at night is either going to be like the scariest thing or like the most relaxing thing, and I don't know which I would think of it as if I was behind the wheel of an actual car. Because in gaming, it's relaxing because you have all this nice scenery and you don't have to take driving rules very seriously. But in real life, it's, depending on where you are, you're either going to get mugged or hit something or haunted by a ghost or something, and it's like very unpredictable. It's both, I can speak from experience. I would imagine it's both. But it is also very location dependent. Like, on the way to the Sonic Symphony back in December, like, as we're inching closer toward the show, we had to stop and get gas in the middle of New Jersey. And we also had to drive through the ghettos of New Jersey to get to the venue where the symphony was. How did I know we were in the ghetto? Well, even the Dollar Tree knew we were in the ghetto, because instead of saying Dollar Tree, the R was turned off, so it spelled Dollar Tree. Oh, and my vehicle's malfunctioning. We have to go get it repaired. Oh yeah, well, originally I was gonna look up a rest stop, but see if we can find a place to get repaired. Where are we? Where the heck are we? Okay, we're right there. Is there like a repair stop? No, nothing on the way. Crap. My favorite thing is the bone coal there. I think, you know, I always liked driving with the windows down. Like, whenever I'm a passenger in a vehicle, not only does having the windows down ease my car sickness a little bit, but also it's just nice. It's nature's air conditioning. It's awesome. So I've always loved the vibe of just driving with the windows down. But when I'm in the car, Mr. Bookie doesn't like it because of the noise, so it's like, okay, no windows down. That's okay. This is your car, I respect your rules, but also I just like the windows down. So like if I would ever learn how to drive, he would be suffering in my passenger seat because I like all the windows down. I'm going a little over the speed limit, but you know, we're trucking. Oh, Kat's adjusting herself on the back of the cab and she made a noise and freaked me out for a hot second. Oh, is that an ambulance? Okay, I swooshed past the ambulance. It was green! I had the green light! Oh yeah, and like, so something fun. You see all those little camera icons that are just kind of floating around? Apparently you can take pictures in those spots. There are achievements tied to doing those little photo ops. Yay. I never end up doing them though, just because I'm usually in such a rush to get from point A to point B for my delivery, especially early on. Because, you know, the higher your experience, you can unlock, like, very long distance drives. So... How fast could I have possibly been going that you can't?! But yeah, so anyway... Yeah, the more experience you get, the more you can do, like, really long distance drives to the point where it's, like, days. So then if you're trying to do the whole trip in, like, one go without saving in the middle, it can take a very, very, very long time. So usually I don't do those little photo op spots unless I'm on one of those really long drives. So I'm sorry I'm on the wrong woman! I didn't mean to be sorry, TJ. I'm reacting to the game. I'm not actually upset. I'm not actually upset or angry or, like, crying or anything. I'm just, you know, I'm a voice actor. I'm a streamer. I'm an entertainer, or at least I try to be, so it's fine. It does worry me sometimes that sometimes the cats can't tell if, like, I'm actually in need of emotional support or if I'm just acting. And that's sometimes, like, that's sometimes why they'll be kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, where it's like, because they can't tell the difference. They don't know that mommy is acting or just mommy is trying to emphasize an emotion for the sake of comedy. Hi, TJ. And I'm delivering fruit juice. How much... How much you want to bet there's just juice leaking out the back of the truck? That's the thing I remember when me and Miss Blue went apple picking. The ride there to, like, the farm where we went apple picking was nice and smooth and it was fine, but the way back was kind of bumpy, so... And eventually I just started cracking up with laughter. It's like, my goodness, what if we just end up with applesauce in the back of the car? Hey, I leveled up. Hooray. Alright, let's put 1 point toward long distance so we could enjoy more of the scenery. And then I was like, I hope Sam is teaching you exactly how not to drive. Even the cat agrees with you. Yes, TJ, I know. I'm not actually sad or anything. It's fine. Mommy's just driving for the sake of the hee-hee. You know, I do it all for the hee-hee. It's okay, cat. Actually, there are no actual cop chases in the, or like, you know, police chases in the game yet. Maybe that'll be a thing in the future, I don't know. The most they'll do is just they'll sound the sirens, but otherwise they'll be too slow to catch up with you. That would kind of be funny, though. That would be, like, excellent stream material, where it's like, you're just trying to drive and be a crazy person, and then you actually end up in a, like, a Lupin-style police chase. Alright, so right now I'm just trying to do, like, the jobs that'll give me the most monies. So that way we can, like, upgrade stuff. And I can get a lot of experience. So that way I could just do driving distances that are longer and longer and longer, and we can go on an actual factual road trip together. That's not a good thing, Sam. Yeah, I know it's not a good thing, especially in real life, but this is okay! Oh, what's over there? Is that a recruiting company or a car dealership? I gotta drive past it to see. I believe that is... Could be either or, I can't see the sign. Oh yeah, it's a recruiting agency. Nice. That means when I have the monies and I can get a second truck, I could hire drivers that can be a part of my shipping company. Oh, come on, car! Oh! Oh, I just finished Loop on the third, Bank of Liberty, From Russia with Love. It was meh. I don't know if I've seen those, actually. Is From Russia with Love the one where it's just Jigen and, like, the ballerina? Actually, I haven't watched Lupin in a while myself. You know, soggy fries behind the wheel, not too bad. I mean, sure, I could stop at a gas station to heat them up, but this is fine. No, that was part 2. This is the 1981 movie. Okay, I have not seen that. And I fear it's like, I already passed the written test. You're one step further than me, and therefore, I am proud. I hope that your driving is not as chaotic as mine. Actually, kind of think about what color is our truck? We're yellow! We're a yellow truck! Oh, speaking of Lupin, though, that's another thing. Like, when I play this game alone, sometimes I'll just, like, turn on Lupin music in the background, and I'll just be cruising at night to the Lupin theme or variations of the Lupin theme. And it's honestly a vibe. I really like it, especially with, like, the slower, more jazzy versions of the Lupin theme. Those are really fun to drive to. Alright, hopefully they won't find me for damage. I only have like 1% damage. Shouldn't really be too much. Thank you guys, have a safe night! So safe, how do you like Washington State? It's not as pretty as IRL, but still. Well, I'm mostly just seeing the highways. I haven't seen like any major cities or anything. That's the other thing too, like, this game does really want to make you, like, play tourist and just go to different places, but because you're only restricted to, like, the highways, major roads, and, like, other things, you don't really get an idea of what the actual cities are like. Except, like, unless there's, like, a landmark that you can see by just driving on the road. So I can't say. I've actually never left the East Coast before. It would be nice to travel more, but it's just a matter of if I were anywhere overnight, I would need someone to babysit the cats. Because I do not trust these girls home alone. TJ already didn't trust home alone, but as long as Dusty is still in my care, I don't trust the both of them home alone without anyone to watch them. Like, I would just have to call and beg my mother, like, Mom, can you stay with the cats so they don't kill each other? Please. Yeah. So it does make it hard to travel when you have pets. And that's the other thing too, because not everywhere is pet friendly, unfortunately. So there are going to be places where I might like to travel to one day, but then I will have to just leave the cats at home. But yeah, I don't trust TJ home alone. I would need a babysitter for her. Combined with Dusty, if I were to leave them home alone, I would come home to one or both of them dead, which horrifies me. So yeah, they need a human babysitter to watch them. But like, yeah, I don't know. I would like to explore more of the Northeast. I think I'm just a Northeastern girly. I just like the forests and the greenery and the water, and I don't know. I'm weird. I'm very specific in the places that I want to go. Even got to the point where once I knew someone that was like, oh, my dad's thinking of going on a trip to Puerto Rico, and, you know, if you want to go, like, he'll gladly, like, pay for you to go with us. And I'm like, I not seeing Puerto Rico. There's a specific place I want to go though, and they're like, oh, like where? Like we might consider going there, like depending on where it is. And I was like, I want to go to New Jersey, and they were like, seriously. So I don't know. I think I'm just the kind of traveler that just wants to go places that are very specific that not a lot of people would think of going. And I'm stuck in a ditch. That's fun. But at least I landed comfortably in the ditch. Alright, delivery's due in a couple hours. And we're also 3 hours away from our destination, so cool. Forgot to turn my turn signal. What's that place? Is that donuts? Oh yeah, it's a donut place. For a second, before I realized it was a donut place, like the signs were all pink and neon, I thought it was a strip club. But now the game doesn't have any like lewd-ish content like that, not even like alluding to it to like kind of reference real life, so yeah, everything is G-rated, but wouldn't it have been funny though? Like instead of me just leaving my desk for a second to go to the gas station, could have been like, okay y'all, hear me out. And then y'all have some ones. We're gonna go have some fun at the Pink Pony Club. I do enjoy the parks and the trails here. Some peaceful, so many youthful memories. Innocent memories. That's the fun thing too, like, just being out in nature, especially in like, in another state. That's really nice. Like, sure, you can be in like a major city, do all the hustle and bustle, and that's fine, but sometimes just being out in nature is just fine on its own. Yeah, like nature can be its own adventure. Yeah, like, you know what I think I would enjoy driving, like, at night? I would enjoy it if the roads were, like, perfectly empty. That I think I would enjoy. And this reminds me so much of just walking through my hometown at night. Like, coming back from the train, walking home. And then, you know, the roads would be perfectly empty, so it's like, at that point, the cross lights are more of a suggestion. Especially if, like, there are no cars at all, and, like, it was just such a vibe. And I used to do so much photography on my way home. That was really nice, even when times were bad. Because, like, I don't know, like, a town hits differently at night. Of course, that depends on the town. Like, if you're not in a really safe area where it's not safe to be at night, then don't do what I did. But if you live in a place that's relatively safe at night, or really quiet at night, where no one's gonna really bother you, and you don't have to worry about being the victim of a crime, then it's just such a vibe. And then weather can also play just such a role in it too. Like if it's raining at night and you're out and about, that's a vibe. If it's snowing, especially if it's like a really gentle snow or like a really like rough windy snow, that's also really cool. I don't know. I think I just find adventure in the little things, and I think over the course of this month especially, I've kind of had a lot of little existential crises that have made me appreciate the little things a lot more. And all that. And not in like a preachy way of just like, appreciate the little things, because you don't know when you're gonna die, you should be so grateful for what you have, but like, little things that I realize there are people that I love that'll never get to experience those things anymore. So I've just come to appreciate them a lot more because of that. then also, like, there's a certain time of night where it's like, you know that it's gonna turn light out. And even that's beautiful to witness, like, just walking around or even just from your bedroom window when you can't sleep. It's really cool. Like, I've seen all colors of the sky at, you know, for all 24 hours of the day. It's beautiful. Although I haven't, like, walked when it was about to, you know, the sun was about to rise. Because, that was interrupted by the fact that I had to take a train. Sorry, I was getting philosophical! Ah! Oopsie. Anyone got plans for Memorial Day? I'm off work, so I'm gonna wake up early to meet the sun and jog for 2 hours and eat pancakes until I'm sick. That sounds like a wonderful plan. That sounds awesome. Good question though. For Memorial Day, I think if I don't have therapy that day, my mom is gonna do a barbecue. So that'll be fun. And then if I do have therapy, I'm gonna do therapy, and then I'm gonna go to my mom's place for a barbecue. Oh yeah, that reminds me. If the sugar cookies I made last all the way up until Memorial Day, that means I can offload all the cookies on my mom! I can either offload them with my mom so the family can eat them on Memorial Day itself, or if I can finish my cooking content that I've been recording during the work week, I will just drop it off at her place at night. I don't even care. It's just, Mom, I made too many sugar cookies. Give them to the people at your job. Oh! So I don't have to look at them anymore. That's another reason why after trying to film cooking content, I've just been like, you know what, I really crave food that I didn't make myself, because after, like, having to stand and work and film and mix things and troubleshoot things and adjust cameras and stands and furniture, possibly, you kind of get sick of looking at the food that you're making or just looking at the food in front of you in general, so you're like, you know what, I don't want to work. I don't want to put labor into feeding myself. All I want to do is go get takeout and eat till I'm sick. All I want to do is eat fried chicken, drink tea, and eat fries until I'm sick. Or all I want to do is eat pizza till I'm sick. I don't want to cook for myself. I've cooked enough for content. And all that, but then it's like, you could be craving all that and then your wallet is like, we need to save money. And then it's like, well crap, you're right. I'll just make myself some pasta. That's pretty low effort. But it just doesn't hit the same when you're, like, actively craving fast food. Especially if it's, like, from a nice mom and pop joint. Because that's another thing I've been doing, too. So, like, so for a while now, when I go to get takeout, there's a very specific place that I go to. Because compared to the other places in my area, it's probably the best value for the money when it comes to just classicata, fried chicken, fries, other fried goodness. And it's wonderful. And then when my mom came to visit me recently, 'cause she hadn't seen the cats in a while, so she wanted to hang out with the cats, she did actually bring me food from that place, and it's like, who are you and what have you done with my mother? You never go to that place. And you're bringing me food from there? Oh my goodness, thank you, but also, who are you? Yeah. Yeah, they're really good. Like I even remember last month when I had kind of my little medical scare. I was very reliant on that place more than usual. So I'm still kind of reeling from last month where I went there a lot more than I usually would. Because, like, last month I had very little energy to cook for myself. So, they were pretty much a lifesaver, because I was able to order, like, a very big portion of food, and then just divide it up to little serving sizes, so I could just heat them and eat them whenever I was hungry. But also, they are just really good, and I do like the food there, so... Like, if I can, sometimes I go there, like, at least once a month, just, you know, show my support. Because they're like a little mom and pop place, they're not a chain. And there's also kind of a running gag where whenever I go there, I'm like, okay, I ordered a meal with this many pieces of chicken. Let's see if the guy snuck in any extra chicken in there. So it's like, I think they know me now, where depending on like who takes my order, I will sometimes just find extra pieces of chicken in the meal. And it's awesome. That's something you can't get at a chain restaurant. Alright, we did a good job! Yay! We're approaching level 3! We need monies so we can get a truck and hire people to drive trucks, and then we can party, I guess. I don't know. Okay, this is... It's not gonna pay a lot, but if I drive or attempt to drive carefully, I can see the port of Seattle. That'll be cool. But yeah, actually, funny enough, Adam, you said to avoid Seattle because it's not worth it. What makes it not worth it to go to Seattle? Oh, I thought that was the road. It's a parking lot. Thankfully, it was a very empty parking lot, which is why I thought it was the road, but, you know, here we are. Come on. Come on, car. Look left. Look right. No one's coming. Okay, I'm free to go. Still horrible at making turns. Because I'm just too damn big. Oh, place that sells burgers. No, it would be kind of fun. It would be unnecessary, but it would be fun if we could actually, like, go through a drive-thru as a truck. Oh, that'd be so chaotic. But, like, the only factor that you need to worry about as a driver is, the fact that you do need rest, especially for, like, really long-haul trips. So there is actually a rest meter. And if you get it all the way to the top where that bed icon is just blue, congratulations, you might fall asleep behind the wheel. I know that because it's happened a couple times, especially when I was playing the demo of this game. Oh, come on. There we go. Nice turn. I mean, if you're born here, you know better. But if you're just visiting from out of state, it's nice enough. Just avoid the homeless camps, drug dealers, white chicks, and you're golden. Oof. Like, I think the only stereotypes I've heard about Seattle is the drug use, but also, like, there's a lot of hipsters. But those are the ones I know off the top of my head. But I'm also not native to the West Coast, and... yeah. I wouldn't know what it's like. Whoops, sorry! At least he landed on his 4 wheels, so, you know, not all is lost. It's alright. If you love rain, then you'll love it here. Interesting. But yeah, I've never been to the West Coast before. It does kind of scare me just because I'm very much used to East Coast climate and all that. So it would take a lot of time to acclimate to. But you know, like, even if I can't do it like anytime in like the near future, it'd still be nice to do some traveling. Like, especially now that I could do, like, actual factual photography again. It's so cool. Another thing I did, besides recording cooking content, so what I've been doing is, I used to do this on my phone, but because my phone keeps bitching at me about storage space, because turning off auto updates is an illusion of choice, I've been recording sound effects with the camera itself to test out the microphone and just test out the footage. But when you're recording sound effects, all you really need is just the sound. I can't look at them through there because I don't have a window back there. I was gonna yell at them complaining about my lights, but anyway. But yeah, so like when you're recording sound effects, you just need the sound. You don't really need any particular footage in the background. So what I would do is just, I was like, you know what? I need more ocean wave sounds because the only ocean wave sound that I recorded myself is like a 7-minute loop, and I could hear myself in a portion of the audio, so it's not even a perfect loop of just ocean sounds. So I went to the ocean, and it was wonderful. And I recorded like, I think an hour in one location, and then I think like 15 minutes in another of just ocean wave sounds. And the footage alone was just like, oh my god, I feel like I'm there again. And the sound quality was excellent, so I'm like, oh my god, this is just gonna be a thing I do now. I'm just gonna go out in the wild and record nature sounds. And it was freaking awesome. So like, I can only imagine like if I bring the camera with me, like if I'm actually like doing some traveling and doing like touristy kind of stuff. And it'd be really cool. I used to love taking photos of nature when I had my original camera. And like now I get to do it again, and I'm just like, ah! It would be nice. I would like to take more little road trips with a wholesome trained man friend, but it doesn't just like I would have to rely on him having the day off in order to drive us places. So yeah. I'd love to hear this beautiful ocean ambiance in the background. I just hear Steve's a couple times. Oh yeah, like, okay, so the original one was like years ago where I just so happened to be at the ocean because I had some business by the beach. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on the sand. I'm gonna just enjoy the breeze and the smell of the water. It's gonna be cool. And then I'm like, you know what? It's nice and empty here today. I'm just gonna record the sound of the ocean. So I did it, and I recorded it for like 7 minutes on my phone. Back when my phone was still shiny and new, and wasn't constantly bitching to me about storage space. And it was wonderful. But that's also become my default ocean sound effect whenever I need an ocean sound effect for a very, very long time. And it's like, okay, I think I need new material, but also it's not even a perfect loop. It's not a perfect thing where it's like, okay, it's just nature sound effects and I'm not in it. Even with the new footage I recorded, I could still kind of hear myself, but it's not as obvious. And I also have significantly more footage of just raw ocean. So it'll hopefully be much better than the original one I recorded on my phone years ago. Just by way of there is more footage and the sound quality is significantly better. But yeah, it's so cool. Like, oh my god, I could actually be a photographer again. And like, photography is just one of those hobbies where like you can go to school for it if you want to, but then it's just fun. Just you take a point and shoot camera, you just take a photo of whatever's interesting. So yeah, like I'm very much the kind of person where it's like photography is just kind of a skill and a hobby that fell into my lap because my uncle was really big into cameras when I was young. My grandma would video record every single holiday or like major event. That was kind of her thing. She didn't go anywhere without her camcorder. And I guess that's just a trait I inherited by, you know, based on the people who raised me. So it's just very wonderful just having access to a camera again. Like, not even just like for streaming or like for the sake of content creation, as it were, but just in terms of like, oh my god, it's like I feel connected to my past self again. In like a good way. Hey. Well, speaking of cameras, this game actually does have different camera modes. I assumed that it was just, like, this first-person mode, but I can also do this. Which is really jarring. Because occasionally you will run into signs and like high objects like that, and the camera will just kind of take you out of the immersion. But also, look at this big load we have that we're delivering to a place. But yeah, I find it very distracting just because, you know, the camera doesn't just phase through the objects, it just does that. There's also this top-down view, which, holy crap, who drives like this? And then there's, you know, you don't see the truck, it's just you. Like you're a camera, or like a drone floating in the breeze, recording a road trip. Which, this is very scenic, but I also can't look left and right like I can in the truck. I remember... this was before the game updated their regular controls. But I remember accidentally, like, unlocking these alternate camera modes, and I was like, what the hell is this? I was enjoying sitting in the seat of my car. Why am I like this? And then I couldn't find a way to fix it. So it took multiple button presses to figure out how to fix it. It used to be... the button used to be on controller, but... yeah, I don't know what button it is now, and thankfully I haven't messed it up like that again. But now I also know that, the numbers keys on your keyboard will also just do that for you. And there are a lot of camera options! Holy crap, that's weird. And there's the- oh my god! Oh my- okay, never mind. I'm not gonna play with the camera no more. Well, that was awesome shit. You ran over a family of opossums 5 miles back. Oops, oh god, no! No! It's awful. Hi, TJ. But thankfully there are no actual animals to run over in this game, which is good, because I wouldn't be able to handle it. It would be horrible. Like, I think there might be, like, ambient birds that do fly, but, you know, they're in the sky. They're so far away, you don't touch them or see them. I'm sorry! Sorry, I keep going fast. I keep getting distracted. Look, man, I know I'm a truck driver, but I also have chat to worry about. You know, I gotta make sure that, you know, they eat. And, you know, they're not falling asleep in the cargo bay, you know? Welcome to Seattle Roads. Are you confused yet? Not really. But of course, there's only a simulated version of Seattle, so... huh. Backing up. Backing up. Backing up. And we're at the part of Seattle. But yeah, the little camera icons will just give you like a nice little cinematic of the town. It's worse IRL. Well, yeah, I mean, you described it as like, you know, avoid the drug dealers, avoid this, avoid that, and then you'll probably be fine. So... wait, isn't it always raining in Seattle? Apparently? I've actually been here before on a school field trip. It was salty. That's cool, though, like... kind of puts the game into perspective, like, yeah, this is just the devs just doing their damnedest to try to capture, like, true American roads, and it's frickin' awesome. Because they don't have any East Coast states yet, so, like, if we have, like, East Coast states, then I can make commentary on it. Because, you know, that's my home turf. And if you don't know how to floss, you'd be lost without me. So, like, yeah. I can't really commentate on, like, this, because it's all West Coast and, Midwest and, like, the South and all that, so I don't have any frame of reference for, like, what's actually cool to visit, what you avoid, etc., etc. Or even to confirm, like, what got captured accurately in the game. It also does rain in the game, I just haven't seen rain in the game for a very long time. And yes, that also does mean that I do have window wipers that are functional. backing up. I do kind of wish you would see weather more. Like, apparently in Denver, like, the weather can go from, like, snowy to, like, hot very fast. And kind of unpredictably. But I have Denver and I've not seen snow once. I have seen rain a couple times, though. Add one more toward long distance. Oh, we can go to Oregon. Let's go to Oregon. What did I crash into? I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't be chosen to drive a truck in real life. Yeah, for first number, let's go! Alright, we're going to Seattle! Oh my god, I wonder if we could do a road trip from Montana to Seattle, like He Sonic movie. But like, of course, Green Hills is a fictional town in that movie. I don't know what like the Montana equivalent would be, and if it's even in this game. Because the actual filming of that town isn't actually in Montana, it's in, wait, Seattle, I thought we would go to Oregon. Oh yeah, I forgot we would go to Oregon. I had a brain fart. I was just excited to leave the state of Washington just so we could just, like, look at more stuff. But yeah. Oh, green light, nice. Turn signal, because I'm turning right. How could you forget? I just had a momentary lapse in memory. I was just like, oh, we get to be on the road again. Oh, we're going to a new place. And then my brain just auto-corrected to Seattle when we're going to Oregon. So that was a whoopsie. Talking about Sonic, I'm gonna go to Montana and hunt the rat down. Oh my god, that's how we get Henry to go on a road trip with us. We're just like, hey Henry, you wanna go to Montana with us so we can hunt down a certain blue hedgehog, and then he'll be all for it. But yeah, like, it's supposed to take place in Montana, but, you know, they're actually filming, like, in Canada. And, like, that town in Canada has gotten, like, a tourist boom as a result of the movie. So I guess that's one place that would be cool to go to if I ever visit Canada. Although, actually, come to think of it, I wonder how or if the devs will do Alaska. Because Alaska's, like, all the way up there, so does that mean we're gonna learn how to drive through Canada? Or, like, at least maybe British Columbia, like, at the very least? Wait, British Columbia is all the way on the west coast of Canada, right? I think so, yeah. Okay, like, that would be interesting. Because it's like, even though the main focus right now is just, like, you know, mainland United States, it would still be interesting if, you know, it was, like, North America, like, the continent. That we could just go trucking in. That'd be cool. Sharp right? No. Have to make a left. Look at this guy over here trying to get me to crash into a wall. You just like when I flip over, huh? I do, it's funny. I mean, it is funny when it happens, but... Well, if I ever attempt to flip over on purpose, I'll try to do it somewhere in a ditch. That way I don't hurt nobody. Even though there are no pedestrians on these roads, and if there are, they're all invisible. I don't care what shenanigans you get up to at work. Oh my god, like, if they ever do release, like, you know, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, etc., especially if they could bundle, like, all the smaller states together, that'd be so cool to drive through. We're just like, oh my god, I'm familiar with these places. I could give touristy advice. Although I wonder, because you can't really take a truck through Manhattan anymore. So I wonder if they're going to implement real-life congestion pricing and make that a part of the simulation if you're driving through New York, and New York City in particular. Now that would be interesting. That would be some devotion to Sparkle Motion. But yeah, that would be cool. I'm sorry! I'm streaming! I'm doing it for the content! Ah! Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god! I'm sorry! Well, we did a flip. Oh, we did a flip. But hey, we did it in the grass. Doing it in the grass is much safer than doing it on the street. So, yeah. I'd rather flip out of the grass. That's a lot softer than concrete. Actually, why don't we get gas? Could I just make it down to one more flip hop? I didn't mean to flip is the thing. It just kind of happened. Kind of happened because I got a speeding ticket. And I was like, excuse me, I'm streaming, I am trucking for the content, and then I accidentally flipped. That's what they all say. Overcast, gonna turn my lights on. Whoop some stuff. Should have gotten some Danishes while we were at the gas station. I could go for like a blueberry cream cheese Danish right about now. Those things are delicious. Although theoretically, if I was mad-led enough, I do have frozen blueberries in the freezer. So if I thaw them and then I boil them, I could make my own jam. That'll be cool. Alright, going up a hill. Driving around at the speed of cloud. Okay, that was very slow ascent. Can we go faster? Can I pull a gotta go fast on these roads? Please? Can I go faster? Truck, please go faster. Please go faster. I'm going crazy being this slow. Come on. There we go. Now we're gaining speed. Oh yeah, when does this delivery due? It's, they're expecting it from like 3:30 to 10. Okay. So we have time. It's like if you barrel... So you can do a barrel roll out of my state. Oh my god, imagine if there was like a dedicated button to a barrel roll. Goodness, that'd be comical. I wonder if there are mods for that though, because this game is moddable, but the only mods that I've used so far are for cabin lights that I have no idea how to get working, and also for realistic mirrors, which I do have. It's also the reason why I don't use the UI mirrors, because it's nice to actually have to use like what I would be using in real life. Obviously I'm only using it like on and off now because this is a game. Yuppie. Yeah, like it'd be nice to get this delivery like super duper early. Because all my other deliveries were unsatisfactory, or not as satisfactory as I would like them to be. Oh, water! Nice! You know, in addition to trying to get, like, long-distance jobs, we can also funnel our points into, quick delivery, so that way we can just kind of go fast the delivery. And just be fast and awesome and cool and stuff. But yeah, it's so cloudy, too. I wonder if it's actually gonna rain in the game anytime soon. I haven't seen rain in the game for a very long time. And road is blocked. Crap. I'll just very carefully sneak. Nice to see you, sirs! Don't mind me, I'm on my way! I didn't hit them. They were a good distance away from the truck. And also there's no penalty for actually crossing the barrier when it's blocked! Yeah, that's just a silly thing that I've discovered across playing this game for however long I've been playing it. Like, there's no actual punishment for not going around a part of the road that's blocked. So in some cases, some, not all, because sometimes there will be other obstacles that prevent you from traveling on this particular road. Like that? But, sometimes, like, there's no other obstacles besides, like, the initial roadblocks, and then it's like, you're fine the rest of the way, the game is just trying to challenge you, but then... but then I'm just like, but I'm gonna go that way, because my GPS says to go that way. So let me go that way, and then I go that way, and then I'm fine. But yeah, sometimes there will be, like, secondary obstacles, like, further up ahead, like that thing over yonder, that are a reason why the road is blocked. But yeah, sometimes there isn't, and it's kind of funny, really. Yeah. It is interesting though, like maybe one day they'll actually like patch in like punishment for like not going around the blocked road when you're supposed to, even if your GPS says otherwise. But I think because it is a simulator game and simulator games are mostly just meant in good fun when they aren't trying to be like serious business simulators, like I don't know if that'll ever be implemented, or like if there was a box I could tick for like the most realistic driving experience that could punish me for that and try to pull off that kind of stunt. That'd be nice for those who want the option of real life consequences. But then also just for stream, it's like I'm just being silly and looking at the nature and virtually sightseeing, and it's all really pretty and cool. And then I'm also just being my former Burnout Girlie self, just trying to learn how to drive realistically or semi-realistically. Oh, that's a nice cabin in the back. I'm sure those exist, but to be fair, this is more fun. Yeah. And it's just more relaxing too. Like for a while, I would sometimes just, oh, is that like a monorail or a ski lift? I saw only a glimpse of that. That looked so cool. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, there are those things. The monorail, right? Oh yeah, those also exist in Roosevelt Island, but I'm really afraid to take those. I'm really afraid of monorails. They're scary. There should be a lesson to you not to just stop in the middle of the highway because, ooh, train, tram, whatever that thing is. But yeah, I like this game. This is very fun. What I would sometimes do, because this is such a chill game, for a while when I was struggling with insomnia, I would just play this game before bed, just doing various like quick jobs for very short distances, and just basically just drive until I was tired and I felt like I could sleep. Because it is very chill, it's very relaxing. And like there are obvious punishments for like, you know, speed limit, driving in oncoming traffic, red light violations and things like that, but just little things like being able to like just force your way past like a barricade that's blocking off a road, or how you can accidentally do a flip into a field. Like that's all in good fun. It's cool. Well, you shouldn't get behind the wheel if you get distracted too easily, especially in games, because this is part driving, part virtual sightseeing, but that is one of my concerns about, like, if I were to be behind the wheel of an actual car. I feel like I would either be too hyper-vigilant, or I would just kind of accidentally let my mind wander, and that genuinely scares me. So yeah, it's scary. It's part of the reason I don't drive. And like, again, I would like to learn and give it like an actual shot, but it's very costly to learn how to drive. Like, and then it's multiple parts. There's like the written test that you have to take before actually getting your permit, then there's getting the permit. Then there's finding someone who could either teach you how to drive in your life, or going to a driving school, and then passing the test, and then getting the license, and then if you live in a place where you absolutely need a car to get around, then you need to get a car, and then insurance. And then if you live in a place where driving is more of an option, then it's like, okay, how do I remember how to drive so that way when I need to use these skills, I don't forget. So yeah, it's scary when you don't know how to drive. This is nice. It's relaxing. don't go in the field. Don't go in the field. Don't go in the field. Turn, 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 turn. Don't go in the frickin' field. Turn. Turn. There we go. I think I was supposed to go this way. There we go. Back on track. To be honest, I personally feel like with most things, driving is a discipline that needs to be maintained. Anyone can drive, but most choose not to drive safely because it's inconvenient. That's the thing too. Like, sometimes you could be the most careful driver in the world, but then if you live in an area where other people drive recklessly, it's like, well, why am I following all the rules when everyone over here is trying to get themselves killed behind the wheel of a car or get other people killed behind the wheel of their vehicle? And it's ridiculous. And as a pedestrian, it's horrible living in those areas because it's like, okay, I'm just trying to not get run over. I'm just trying to get home or run my errands or go to school or go to work. And then moron tries to signal that they're turning right but keeps driving straight and almost hits you with their car. I don't think you'd be one of those drivers because you're too compassionate a person. I'm also a very anxious person, so I'm either going to be hyper vigilant as hell, or I'm just gonna have a panic attack and not be able to drive. It's gonna be one of those two, and I'm not looking forward to either one. And I'm also not in a place where I would have to learn how to drive. Like, I don't live in, like, the middle of nowhere where it's either you get a car or you just die of boredom and solitude. And if I did live in one of those places, it would force me to need to learn and maintain my driving skills, but it would also be torture! Because I like being able to just walk around and take public transit and, you know, stretch my legs. Like, if I want to go to the convenience store, I could just go to the convenience store. In some locations, a simple trip to the convenience store is like, oh, it's like 2 hours away to go get snacks. Well, I guess I'm driving 2 hours to go get snacks and then come back, which is also 2 hours, and it's horrifying. Like, I would never want to willingly live in a place like that. Oops, I'm causing collateral damage. It's not easy, but that's why it's always important to pay attention. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not leading by example in this game whatsoever. Oh yeah. Like, this is how you don't drive. This is what happens when you take someone who's played Burnout their entire life and try to put them in a realistic or semi-realistic driving simulator. And that's also what happens when they don't take it seriously as a semi-realistic driving simulator. But when I do try to, like, actually take it seriously, I do my damnedest to pay attention, to use my turn signals and do this and do that. And there are no pedestrians to keep track of because I'm pretty sure just adding pedestrians would make the game chug. Because it's already a pretty big game with each state. So, yeah. So it's not a perfect driving simulator, but at least I've learned traffic law in the process. By seeing and doing and seeing how I get punished in game for committing shenanigans. And it's also just really relaxing. That's another thing too, like, say if I did learn how to drive, got my license. Doesn't really matter if I have a car in this scenario. I could rent a car, I own a car, just whatever. But let's say I know how to drive. And then I just kind of get the hankering, like, you know what? I would like to take a night drive and just relax. I can picture myself being that kind of person where it's like, you know what, I think I'm bored. I want to take a night drive. Go pick up some snacks at a 7-Eleven or drive to the beach and then watch the sunrise. I feel like I would do that. But even that, again, that would depend on your town, too, because that's not safe to do everywhere. In some places, it's like, okay, if I get bored and I want to drive out at 4 in the morning, I might get shot. And then there are some places where it is perfectly empty and it's wonderful and you can drive or walk out at night and it's perfectly fine, but yeah, it depends. But, like, night driving is also just a real vibe. It's a vibe in game, but then, as someone who's also just been in cars at night as a passenger, it's also really nice and very relaxing. Although, the last time I was in a car at night, the driver was not very relaxed, and I do not blame him. But yeah, I have been in cars at night with very relaxed drivers, with family, and other people I knew at one point that knew how to drive and were driving me around at night, and it was very nice. Oh crap! I was pressing the brake! I wasn't... I didn't do any time. I'm sorry! I'm sorry! I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go around you so, you know, it doesn't happen again. I'm sorry. Ah! Oh, god damn it. God. It's nice when there isn't... It's nice when there isn't the stress of driving. Also, previous messages. Yeah. Hi, TJ! Try to jump on the console of the car again, I see. Where's my tube? There's my tube. Cat. Cat. Go over there. You're gonna make me crash into it. Ah, the rocks! Oh! Ah! My goodness, your immunity to the stick. The stick no longer works as like a way to shepherd her out of the desk area. Cat! Get out of there! Come on. You can bite me as much as you want. You gotta get out of there. You're gonna suffocate the computer. Please. Please. Get out of there! Oh goodness, now she's knocking stuff over. Fantastic. Get out of there. I will turn the regular fan on for you by the bed, but you need to get out of there. See, it's like it's blowing air, and I see her fur moving. Come on. Come on, you little scamp. If I get out of the room temporarily, she'll follow me. Come on. Come on. I better turn the smoke anyway. Come on. Get out of here. It's dangerous. Let me put the rest into the bowl. Anywho, so... Yeah, I really gotta find ways to get her off of the desk. Because she is immune to the tube that I've been using as a way to try to guide her off of there. And she's starting to get really persnickety and bitey whenever I try to move her from the desk. That's fun. That's cool. Ugh. But yeah, what I'll do is that I have a fan by my bed. So I'll just turn that on for her. And hopefully she stops with my frickin' desk. You know what? I'm in a hurry, 'cause cat. It's a tolerable delivery. We made $2,000 out of the $8,000 we were originally supposed to get. TJ's just too hardcore. Yeah, she's also kind of a pain in my butt. I do love her, but my goodness, cat, please. Where is the beautiful little kitty that used to behave and not jump on the desk? Yeah. I miss when she used to behave. I'm surprised they paid us, to be honest. Yeah. Well, finally have the opportunity to go to Montana. Alright, we're gonna go to Great Falls, Montana. Maybe if we go to the state with the blue rats, the cats will get their act together. Ooh, it's so overcast. Goodness. It's like it's gonna snow or rain any minute. I was about to crash into that fence thinking that it was the gate. Thankfully, I did not. Okay, no one's that way. No one's that way. Okay, I'm gonna skadoodle on over here. My turn signal's on. No one's that way. Cool. I did it. That was my first responsible act of driving in a while. Oh, driving past those railroad barricades just made me think, I've tried to run through those in the game before. But the thing is, if you can't get them in time before the barriers go down, you can't just crash through the barriers either, because once the barriers are down, they have a like an invisible wall in front of them that makes you bounce back and will damage your vehicle. So you can't just run through the barriers. Yeah. But there are times where I've just, like, sped past them before they could go all the way down, and then I'm just like, yes! And then I would take a photo of the trains that passed by. Also, don't do that in real life. Those will destroy your car. Yeah, I would never try doing that in real life. But because this is a game, I've gotten very silly and played with it in very silly ways. Just to see what'll happen. Oh, I'm so yawny. Yeah, this game is so chill, like... It's like a perfect game to, like, wind down the night with. Like, say, if you've had just a really hectic day, you kind of want a game, but you don't have a lot of brain power. Like... This game is just so wonderful to relax. And then Bruce Walker's over here typing out what TJ's probably thinking. Well, that's kind of the funny thing, though. I don't really know what kind of voice TJ would have if she could speak English. Like, in my friends group, they just kind of default to giving her, like, a smoker voice, like, meow! Or, I guess, like, the cat equivalent of a smoker voice. But she meows, like, very gently, and she has such a high-pitched, like, innocent-sounding meow for such a cat that causes so much chaos. So, yeah.
She probably still really high-pitched like this.
But this kind of sounds like I'm doing it not like a full Mocha at home voice. Yeah, TJ would be like,
Ma! You on the light box! It's light box time! We light box now! Cool! I love light box time with Mom!
And it's like, TJ, no, you're gonna destroy all the hardware. And oh my god, she's almost knocked over my monitor a couple times in the past. It was horrible. Like, This monitor has almost been knocked over 3 times. Once by Dusty at 4 in the morning, because she accidentally launched her body into it when she was trying to just jump on the desk in the middle of having the zoomies. Got almost knocked over by TJ once, that, you know, kind of partially unplugged the wires from the back, so my screen was flickering for a while until I figured out what was wrong. And then, one time she did actually manage to knock it down. Thankfully, not on the floor. If it had fallen on the floor, it probably would have just cracked in half. But thankfully that did not happen. Guess you need to bolt it down at the desk. You know, I've considered that. Like, I've considered, like, trying to bolt it down. I don't want to do it with, like, screws or nails or something, like, that would leave, like, a permanent mark in the wood. But what I have considered is like getting like industrial clamps, like for like woodworking or like metalworking, like hold it in place. Or alternatively, I think I might have a clamp of some kind from when I leaned more heavily into cosplay that I would use for styling my wigs. So it's this little clamp. It's entirely made of plastic, so I don't really know if it'll hold the monitor down. Or I don't know if it'll hold it down effectively for very long, especially if it gets slammed into by a cat. But, you know, it just goes on the edge of the desk, and, you know, there's a knob on there, you put your styling head on there, and then you style your wigs. So I don't know if it'll totally be effective with the monitor, but I mean, it's worth a shot. I just don't want to make any dents in the actual wood, if I can help it. Because then, if I make any marks in the wood itself, if I, like, get a new monitor in the future. That's another thing too, because I don't want to make any marks in the wood, and then I don't want to like damage like the stand on the monitor itself by doing that. Because then, if I make any permanent marks in the monitor itself or on the desk, if I move the monitor, if I arrange where it is on the desk itself, then you know there's just gonna be holes everywhere. Now you want to use nuts and bolts. Just double check your drill layout, use washer, and not destroy the desk. Yeah, like any sort of clamping method that I could use that would not destroy parts of the monitor and parts of the desk, yeah. Like, those are a lot more preferable, because then it's easier to maneuver the furniture than deal with furniture that now has holes in it. Because I kind of have a two-desk situation. So it's basically, I have my computer desk, and then I have my sewing table, which is just one of those gigantic IKEA shelves just laid down on its side. You know, like the cubicle ones that you put like the storage cubes in. So it's just the tall version, the eight little cubicle version of that just flipped on its side, and that's my sewing table. And yeah, so like even if I have to put like a clamp, and even if it's like a little bit bulky, like it's better to have just like that little crack of space between the sewing table and the computer desk than damaging the desk or the monitor itself. And now she's back on the desk, but now she's sulking in a corner. Okay. I would rather have her sulking in a corner far away from the PC tower than suffocating the PC tower, so we are good, cat, for now. That's a nice body of water. I would love to go kayaking again. I haven't been kayaking in forever. Turn. So museum putty. It's a putty used by museums, hence the name, to keep artifacts from being destroyed by earthquakes. But it has seen some use in the cat owner space, since it's designed to protect from... Oh, that's interesting. I mean, clamps probably won't help either. They have a load limit, and those can also scratch up the desk if you don't use a scrap block as a buffer. Oh, interesting. We're getting home decor / hardware safety tips. Oh, what a wonderful stream. But that's the thing too, like, yeah, it's kind of nice. Like, oh, my chat's making sure that the cats don't destroy everything. That's awesome. Sorry, that's getting into my work. Like, no, you don't have to apologize, because it's helpful. Like, again, helpful advice can be the difference between, like, oh, like, I can't stream on account of cat destroyed everything, or it's like, oh, things are held in place, and it's very cool. So, I'll have to look into those. Because based on, like, the monitor base, I think there should be room for at least, like, a singular clamp. And then if there's no room for clamps or it just doesn't clamp on there correctly, then I could look in a museum putty, see if that holds. And then hopefully it wouldn't leave any marks on either the desk itself or get stuck to the monitor like other adhesives might.
Scusi.
And listen, I may have deeper depression and I'm horrible with regular human conversation. When it comes to my work, I'm always on it. And that's the cool thing, though. Like, you know, you have like a real talent with like woodworking and stuff, and it's just kind of nice hearing stories. It's just like, oh yeah, I made this thing, and then I made that thing, and then oh, you have a wood problem. Here's the solution to your wood-related problems, and it's awesome. Yay! Like on a previous stream, I was working on some Danganronpa art. It's one of the situations where art was not needed for... Oops! It was one of the situations where art was not needed for the project itself, but I was just doing it because I had a devotion to Sparkle Motion and I felt like it. And I mentioned, like, in terms of, like, especially when you're making, like, a VTuber design, what could help you try to figure out, like, what kind of design you want is to try to think of yourself as, like, a Danganronpa ultimate talent. So by that logic, because you know so much about, like, wood and carpentry, like, you could be, like, the ultimate, like, carpenter, like, the ultimate woodworker, and that's really awesome that, like, you have, like, a definitive thing that, you know, could qualify you as, like, an ultimate in that aspect. It's really cool. Like, for me, I don't really know what my ultimate talent would be if I were, like, to Danganronpa myself, or to try to assign myself an ultimate talent. Like, for me, I just kind of chickened out like a ultimate fiction enthusiast, because I really like fiction and media! But that's not really, like, a strong, notable talent. That's, like, very generalized. Like, that could kind of be interpreted as anything. But, like, you have, like, a defined niche, and it's, like, really cool. More about Museum Putty from Bruce Boinkers. Sudden sharp forces or shaking to be destroyed. Oh, it's continuing from the last message. So I'll just start from the previous sentence. So it's designed to protect from sudden sharp forces or shaken to be destroyed. So it's suggested to people who have really curious or playful cats. Added benefit is that it's easy to remove within reason and won't damage your stuff. Cool. So I'll have to look that up. And see if it's, like, available for sale anywhere. Like, my default is, like, oh, if they have it on Amazon, maybe I can, like, pick up, like, I don't know what they sell it by, like, the pound, the tub. Or, like, maybe if I find it on, like, an art store. Because there are, like, some specialty art stores that sell stuff for, like, displays and hanging things. Like, there are some art stores that have, like, just entire sections of framing alone. So, if I can't find it in one place, I'll find it at another, I suppose. But, yeah, I never would have considered that. I didn't even know Museum Putty was a thing. So, I'll have to consider it for these crazy cats. Because, yeah, like... I need to come up with some other kind of contraption where I can kind of isolate the PC where it is, so that way the cats don't really try to mess with it or sit in front of the back fans. Because they've done that before. My thought was like, oh, I'll just barricade the area with books. They keep jumping into the area between the books and the fans, and I've kind of treated it as like a little nook for themselves, so... Double-edged sword, but it's better than having the area be open because at least the books are partially a deterrent. And they're spaced far away enough from the PC fans that it's not a fire hazard because there's enough space there, but still. Yeah. Crazy cats. Pillow fort? I don't know if that's gonna work next to a bunch of PC and sewing equipment. Like, actually, my sewing machine used to be where the books currently are. My sewing machine used to be behind the PC tower. But then they would keep messing with the sewing machine as well. So now my sewing machine is behind my monitor. And I put the stack of books behind the PC tower where the sewing machine used to be. Alternatively, you can give the cat their own thing, like a cardboard computer. Sorta, yes, to the contrast, you know, of the PC. Maybe. Like, I've always made the joke that if TJ behaved herself, I would get her a keyboard, like just a keyboard. But also, she's a crazy cat. And also, it's not really the keyboard she's attracted to. She just keeps really enjoying the monitor and I guess the PC fans when the computer's on. So I'm gonna have to try to find like a good monitor equivalent so she could leave the actual monitor alone. You can use cardboard to make a fake PC and trick the cats into thinking it's the real deal. I don't know, I think my cats are too smart to like think it's the real deal, but yeah, it's about providing a similar experience for them so they don't destroy your actual stuff. I'll have to see. I mean, the bright side about cardboard is that I could cover it in catnip and silvervine and all that, and they'll hopefully then be all over it. My fury lover, it's 1 a.m. for me. Time for bed. Sam, please drive safe. And then Adam going, replying to my fury, good night, and she won't. But that was a good one. I mean, but hey, we could drive safe and fast, so I could satisfy my need for speed, but also handle this trucking job. And it's not due until Wednesday, like at 5:30 to around midnight on Thursday, so we have time. Am I wrong? The thing is, you're not wrong, but I just... It still made me laugh. Those do not work hand in hand, Sammy. Yeah, I know, but this is a game! It's a game! It's not real life! Oh my god, you know another thing I thought about actually? Like, there are no pedestrians in this game that you have to worry about accidentally hitting or interacting with. Like, there are humans, but they'll just be so far out of your reach or have an invisible barrier around them that you can't hit them or hurt them in any way. But if, like, New York got released as, like, a DLC, there's, like, a big biking culture in New York. In, like, the New York City area specifically. So I wonder if they would be crazy enough to try to replicate that. And I don't mean, like, vroom vroom bikers. I mean, like, ching ching ching, like those kind of bikers. Like, on regular non-electric bikes. Or sometimes electric bikes. Because, Citibank, like, the bank chain, has set up, like, a lot of, like, electric bike stands where you could just rent electric bikes for the day. So if you don't have a bike, but you want to go biking, you could, I think you need an account with Citibank to do it. I think that's the only restriction. And sometimes even then, sometimes people don't put the bikes back, so if you find a free city bike just laying around somewhere, you can drive it for free. But I wonder, like, if they'd be crazy enough to try to replicate, like, that biking culture that, like, is in New York City itself. That'd be nuts. But it would also it would also mean, like, for... I would just become, like, the driving equivalent of, hey, I'm walking here. Just yelling at virtual people on virtual bikes. Thank God you aren't in my field of work. So many injuries because everyone wants to go fast. Yeah, that's the thing, though, about, like, art and carpentry. Like, you just need to take your time. Like, it's better to build something slowly than lose your arm in a horrible chainsaw accident. Or something similar. Or accidentally build something that ends up falling apart within, like, 2 days of building it. Like, that's why, like, when I build furniture at home, I just take my time. And sometimes, depending on the piece of furniture, I just make a day of it. Because, like, you gotta, like, worry about, like, the structural integrity of the thing. Like, and that's, like, a bare minimum. That's not even counting, like, oh, well, I want the aesthetics to look nice. What about this engraving over here? Do I want to polish this? Do I want to stain that? Like, all aesthetics aside, you have to make sure it's structurally sound. Oh, but driving a car isn't the same thing. Both can kill you, sounds like. But this is a game. But it's a game. I wouldn't drive like this in real life. But yeah, real life driving is a lot higher stakes because, you know, I don't get a do-over if I, like, lose at a certain level or, like, I die. I'm just gonna end up dying. So yeah. But in games, you can be a little bit silly. Oh, please pull over first. Oh, we need gas, too. We like half a tank of gas left. And we're also tired, so we could theoretically rest. Where the heck is the way? Okay, it's all the way over there. And... there. Alright, thank you. You have a nice day. Oh, there's a gas station over there. Be like, I feel like this is like a really great game to play at night, so like... what I gotta do is, if I ever feel like a hankering to stream at night, even if it's like super duper late, when I don't normally stream, because I try to stream like around like 8 at the earliest, or 6 if I'm feeling frisky and I have nothing better to do that day. Then like this would be a nice thing to just like, you know, midnight drive and just on Storm, that'd be cool. But you know, the other painful part about like driving late at night, whether it's in a game or in real life, is that in real life I don't know if I'd be comfortable playing music behind the wheel of a car, because I feel like I just need to focus that much, and I am very sing-songy. So if I'm gonna do like car karaoke, I better be the passenger. But like, especially in games where, you know, real-life logic doesn't apply, or it only applies selectively, but I can ultimately do whatever I want without consequence. There are so many nice songs that would make for a perfect night drive, and I can't play them because of copyright. Like one such song is, in the 2000s, there was an anime adaptation for the light novel Boogie Pop Phantom. And the first series they had was, it was an anime told in like a series of vignettes. So each episode was kind of its own thing, except for the last episode. But the opening theme to that original series was shot entirely in live action. And the song makes for like a perfect night drive in the rain. But I don't know the exact title of the song off the top of my head. But it's such a nice song, like, I sometimes used to play it just whenever it rained in general. And then if ever I was the passenger in a car, and, did I have a phone that could play music back then? Goodness, I don't remember. No, I think, oh crap, I had an iPod back then. Oh my god, yeah, I downloaded the song on my iPod. Back when my iPod still worked. And if I was ever in, like, the back seat of, like, Grandpa's car, or, like, in the back seat of, like, a cab with my family, I would just play that song on my iPod. Especially if it was, like, raining, and it was, like, the best vibe ever. So, like, that song especially is good for night driving, but especially if it's raining. It's a wonderful song. It's like, I don't remember the name of the song, I just remember looking it up as, like, Boogie Pop Phantom anime opening, and that's how I would look it up. I don't remember the title of the song though. It's painful. I only remember how it goes. I don't remember the title of the song, so I can't recommend it like I would normally recommend music. And I can't sing it because I have a getting for copyright. Oh, it's so painful. But yeah. Yeah, it's so painful when, like, you know how the song goes, but you cannot remember the title to save your life. And if I... Oh, I'm going in a field. Oh, okay. Ow. Ow. Friggin' wall right there. Well, at least I crashed in a ditch. Ah! Sorry, I was getting out of a ditch. Man, I miss my iPod. So many good jams lost to time until I just made a playlist later in life. Yeah, that's the thing. I thought about that to myself. I got really nostalgic over my iPod because I had a little blue iPod. My grandmother had got it for me as a birthday gift. And, you know, it was like the best thing ever. Because I didn't have a smartphone for a very long time, so I didn't have, like, the internet on my phone that I could just play music and listen to. And I just listened to music regularly to self-regulate, because I was a very anxious child. So, like, I loved that thing to death. And then every now and again, my uncle would take me to the local Staples, and we would just get iTunes gift cards so I could just reload my balance and then just buy songs, right? And then my iPod died when I was an adult. And that pained me, because it's like, oh, you know, my grandmother got me this, and, you know, it no longer works, no longer turns on, no longer holds a charge. You know, that's, you know, the death of an era right there. So I got really nostalgic about it, and I was like, do they still even make iPods? They do not make iPods anymore, because, again, everyone has the internet on their phone. So what I thought of doing to capture the feeling of having an iPod again was, if I could find one of my old phones, I could just factory reset it, and then just put a bunch of MP3s on there and just capture the feeling of having an iPod again. Because I do kind of miss having a MP3 player that was just an MP3 player, because on my phone, it's very distracting sometimes. It's like, I want to listen to music, but I also gotta check my text messages. I gotta let my mom know I'm okay. I gotta check where I'm going so I don't get lost in the city, that kind of thing. So it's like, I kind of miss when devices were just trying to be one device, and that's it. So to capture the feeling of having an iPod again, I thought of doing that, but I have a lot of old pictures on my old phone that I somehow need to transfer to PC. What I could do is, if I got a micro SD card, I could just stick that in one of my old phones, transfer everything onto the micro SD, and then just have the micro SD for safekeeping, and then factory reset the thing so I could make it an iPod. But yeah, I would do it with the current micro SD that I have, that I stuck in my current phone, but I think it's a little bit corrupted, so I'm kind of afraid to take it out of the device itself, because there are so many pictures of Percy and TJ, and a whole bunch of other pictures and video that I still have on there, so I don't want to risk taking it out and then I lose all those pictures of, you know, a cat that is no longer with us in the physical world, and all my other travel photos and stuff. What was the first album that I purchased? So, when I was a kid, we had a whole CD collection. So, we just burnt all the music CDs that we had onto the iPod itself. And then if those had an equivalent on the iTunes store, you know, you got the album art included from, you know, the iTunes store. But, like, I didn't purchase a lot of albums as albums. I purchased a lot of the songs individually. So I really got into Panic at the Disco at the time too, so I got a lot of Panic at the Disco songs. And then I accidentally got a string version of the song Fully Alive by Flyleaf. Because I didn't read it carefully enough, I thought I was getting the regular version of Fully Alive by Flyleaf, and I got a string version. Which, it was a good string version of the song, but I made a mistake and I was a child and I was so pissed off about it. But yeah, like, man, I miss having devices that were just trying to be one thing. It's like, sure, I could try to download MP3s on my current phone, but then it would bitch to me about storage space, and like, there are so many apps that I need on this particular phone because if I were to try to download them on my previous phone, the OS isn't the same, so it wouldn't be able to handle the apps that I need to live. So it stinks. It's like, and then again, turning off like auto updates. I tried to turn off auto updates so much, I think the phone keeps updating without my input. And it keeps updating all the apps, and that's the other thing. That's why it keeps bitching to me about storage space. It's like, I'm out of storage! Then why do you keep updating when I told you not to? I'm out of storage! It's like, maybe if you didn't update all the time. Maybe if you didn't need frequent updates, then we could resolve this little storage problem that you have. So I can take more photos. But no. So that's what I thought of doing, also just to also ease the burden off my phone a little bit, just to treat it as a phone. Especially when I'm out and about. To just convert one of my old phones into being basically a gigantic iPod. But yeah, like, oh my god, I have so much nostalgia. Like, and I used my iPod so much that, like, the center button eventually lost its ability to click stuff. So sometimes I would just have to use the play button as the select button. Like, that's how much I used it. It was crazy. I nearly broke the select button in the middle of the thing. But it was very well loved. It died very well loved, and at least it lasted until my adulthood. So I'm grateful for that alone. I also lost it for like a year, which was the crazy thing. And I used music to self-regulate a lot at the time, too, so it's like, that was a really big deal. Like, oh crap, I lost my iPod. Like, I know I didn't lose it outside, because I always keep it in my pocket or my purse when I'm outside. And, you know, no one's seen it around the house. Where's the frickin' iPod? And, then a year later I found it. It had somehow gotten under the mattress of my bed. How? No idea. But it had somehow gotten under the mattress. I found it under the bed, charged it up, and it still miraculously worked after a year of no use, being covered in dust. And that actually happened a couple times too, but that first time losing it under the bed was like the big one. So I think I kind of artificially made it last a little bit longer because I lost it for like a year. Yeah. It was a weird time. But I do miss that thing. It was very precious, especially because it was a gift from my grandmother. It was Solid Snake in it, apparently. But yeah, like, there are a lot of things that my grandmother, like, had given me, especially, like, she knew she was about to go, so she was like, well, I'm gonna go out with a bang so this child doesn't suffer. So, even my piano that I have, that was the last Christmas present I ever got from her. And that's why I cherish it, even though I'm not very good at piano. But yeah. So, like, when I say I was kind of going through a lot of existential crises in May, and it was kind of a month of mourning, it's because, like, my grandmother... This is the month where my grandmother was born, but she also passed away in May. So it was kind of a lot. And I don't actually remember the day she actually passed. Like, I cannot commit it to memory for the life of me. But I do celebrate her on her birthday. So what I do on my birthday is, if, you know, if nothing's really going on, and if I have the day off and I don't have anything to do, I'll just spend the entire day with her, and I'll play piano in front of her picture, we'll have coffee together, I'll make her dinner, and it's very nice. So that was a very nice day that I had with her. And I guess that kind of contributed to the existentialism of this month, where it's like, wow, it's really just been that long. And, like, there are so many people I know that are no longer here to experience physical sensations, and are unable to keep up with the current stuff that I do, like, actively. So it's kind of given me an appreciation for life more. Not in, like, a hippy-dippy way, but, like, just in, like, you know, I hope I can connect with them across dimensions or something, just to let them know that I'm doing okay by, like, trying to live the best life possible. Oh, and I don't think I was supposed to make that turn, but I was talking about my grandma, so I got distracted. Whoops. Hand-eye coordination was like, you're getting too existential. We're gonna have to make you take a whole different route just so you can get back to where you're going. Oh god, that's a big ass detour. I didn't even mean to do that. Oh, is that like a knockoff country buffet? I don't know why that sign just reminded me of like, I think it's called country. No, Cracker Barrel. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Why did I think it was country buffet? That sign just reminded me of one of those two. Oh yeah, and oh, mine was Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and by the band under the same name. Love that band. Oh yeah, I've heard some of their songs on. They got recommended to me on YouTube like many years ago. So I've listened to some of their songs actually, but I've never listened to like a full album of theirs. I wonder if you start driving in New York, which state you'll end up in after 5 minutes of ranting. Oh, the thing about like driving in New York is that like you need like Easy Pass and stuff, and there are like toll roads that you gotta go through. So imagine I'm just streaming and then I'm ranting. Wait, did I say streaming or driving? Goodness. What is wrong with me tonight? Speaking of, let me just be a little bit lazy and get a tow truck to pick me up and none of this shenanigan. But yeah. Like I can only imagine, like if I were to accidentally end up in a state because I'm trying to like focus too hard on the road, or I panic or something. Or like if I somehow, some way did like driving content and I'm like, hey guys, welcome to my live stream, we're gonna drive, and it's like, oh crap, where the hell am I? Okay, this is the closest rest stop, so we'll go there. Oh goodness, I'm yawny. And my driver character is also yawny. Okay, you just keep going down this way because we need to rest. You really need that storage space empty so you could use your phone's GPS. Yeah. Like, unless I found a way to, like, hook up my camera to, like, a laptop to use for, like, a hypothetical driving stream. But I don't even have a car, so I'm putting a lot of brain power into something that isn't even possible yet. That I couldn't even legally do. Oh, even the driver of the game is yawning and it's making me yawn. Stop! But yeah, that bed icon is red, so we need to go to a rest stop and sleep. You just ran a red light, yeah. Oh, those are some nice looking apartments. Oh, that's a motel. I was gonna say those are some nice looking apartments, but I bet they're expensive. But it's a motel, so maybe not as expensive. Oh, hey look, there's a burger place, Dream Burger. I could actually go for a burger right now. That sounds pretty good. Sam, I don't want to pull a hair you mainly because I don't want to get blacklisted but go to bed. Well, also, I'm not the only one yawning. The actual character in the game is yawning because they're really tired. The bed icon is super duper red, so we gotta sleep or we'll fall asleep behind the wheel of the car. Of the truck. Car, truck, same difference, it's on wheels. So yeah. I have actually accidentally fallen asleep behind the wheel of the car and truck in the game, though. So what'll happen is that after a certain number of yawns, you will actually just black out. And sometimes you'll find yourself driving into a ditch or something. So it's very dangerous to fall asleep behind the wheel of the car in the game. God. Frick it. Yeah, so if we could get to a rest stop, we'll just park ourselves in a little corner and go to bed. In the game. But yeah, even the screen starts getting a little bit dimmer. Like, you saw the lighting just got a little bit darker. So yeah. So your character has to rest. Thankfully, that's the only stat you gotta worry about. Because if we had to actually worry about, like, food and my little gags about, like, oh, we're gonna go to the gas station, what do you guys want to eat, weren't just gags, that would radically change the gameplay. Oh, what kind of burger? Like Pop's famous burger? Well, I usually make burgers at home. I don't really eat a lot of, like, beef outside, like in fast food places or, like, restaurants. There are very few restaurants where I've actually had the burgers. And they're usually, like, independent places. Or, like, places that are, like, a little bit on the expensive side, but, yeah. But yeah, I actually don't really eat burgers outside. I normally just eat, like, fried chicken, because that's usually, like, the safest bet for, like, food at, like, a restaurant. Yeah, when I normally make burgers at home, it's just very simple. Salt, pepper, fry it on the stove. And occasionally, if I'm feeling fancy and if I have it available, I'll put goat cheese on it.
Ugh, scusi.
Trying to shepherd the cat off the desk that's... Now I have allergies. But yeah, so what I'll usually do if I make a burger at home, if I'm feeling really fancy,
Scusi.
well, at least I know the reason for my allergies all of a sudden now. It's because I had too much exposure to cat. Oh, there's that sneeze. I can hear the waves. But yeah, so if I don't sneeze, if I'm getting really fancy with the burger, toasted brioche bun, not too much, but like a little bit toasted just so you have a little bit of a crunch. Burger made on the stove, simple salt and pepper. Goat cheese with spinach. Fresh spinach. None of that canned stuff. Fresh spinach is like amazing. Chives, if I have chives, like chives chopped up really small. And then, you know, I'm questioning, this is probably another reason why I can't drive. What if I just start sneezing like crazy behind the wheel and I crash into something? Yeah, I've also had burgers with like a Munster cheese before. That's pretty good. And if I'm feeling extra frisky, or if it's like brunch when I'm eating a burger, I will sometimes just make a little omelet, put it in the burger, and just have like a burger with egg, maybe a little bit of ketchup. But usually I just eat the beef and the egg in the bun, and it's good. Maybe with some vegetables, especially if I have some nice leafy greens that are fresh. Oh, that is a real fear. Sneezing while driving is a death sentence. Yeah, again, there's a reason why I'm terrified of actually driving in real life. There's just always something going on with me, or 100 things going on at once, where it's like, what if I sneeze behind the wheel and then I die? Or like, what if I sneeze behind the wheel and I accidentally turn just like a single degree to the left when I'm not supposed to and I die?
Oh, the car's going ahead of me.
I think after I finish this job, I think I'm gonna call it a night, take a shot glass of allergy medication, and then go to bed. Because I don't like what my body is doing to me right now. But I know the reason for it now. It's because of the cat. Okay, now am I supposed to go? I think I'm supposed to turn this way. Yep. I'm waiting for the stiffs. I miss to use a stiff on stream. Is that weird? No, I think for a while I just had the sniffles like really, really bad. So it just kind of became a thing that I unintentionally did because my nose did not like me. And now I think the sniffles have gotten better and don't bother me as much. Or they just, maybe they aren't as audible, I'm not really sure. I don't know. My body is a weird thing. The human body in general is just such a weird machine made of flesh and other fluids. It really is odd. It's kind of like, you know, the joke of like, oh well, why haven't the aliens visited us yet? Maybe it's because we're too biologically scary. Like, thankfully my sniffles have gotten better, but like, and generally I'm like 90% immune to the cats and their allergens, but occasionally if it's too much, like when I'm trying to wrestle a cat off the desk for extended periods of time, yeah, that's when the allergies are gonna start happening again, and then, yeah. Livable cats. I do love them though, I wouldn't like, yeah, they're really great. Like, I could never, like, risk taking allergy shots, like, to try to become, like, 100% immune to them, because those are scary. Like, people die from just the allergy shots sometimes if the reaction is that bad. Like, I'd rather just get immune to them, like, through exposure. And thankfully I am just 90%, like, immune to them, but it's... especially if they're misbehaving and I need to handle them for extended periods of time where I do sometimes get allergies because of them. But I'd rather suffer with the allergies than not have a cat. Or just not have animals in my life in general. Yeah, that's just kind of the life of a cat owner sometimes. Or, no, actually scratch that, because I'm not a cat owner. You never really own a cat when you have a cat. You're more just the cat's roommate. In like 90% of cases. Dusty, I could say like, you know, she's very shy and cute and ooh-wooey enough where it's like, you could say that, like a human could say they are Dusty's owner. But then with TJ, she's like the mean girl of nurses. You cannot say that you are the owner of TJ. Like, no, you are just roommates, and you pay all the bills, and she's a cat, she goes meow. Yeah. But I mean, hey, like, sometimes living with a pet is just like that. Sometimes you just have more of a roommate relationship, and it's... you don't really own each other, per se. You just kind of live together in a weird, chaotic harmony. I wonder what the Prince of the Cosmos has been thinking about your driving. Yeah, I keep meaning to change my bottle back to the normal one without the Prince of the Cosmos, but he's just so cute and so wholesome and so innocent and small that I kind of accidentally kept leaving him up there. But yeah, I'm also just really proud. It's just such a simple edit, but it's like, I made an edit, and it's cool. But I mean, the Prince of the Cosmos would just roll up all the trucks on the road. Yeah. Katamari's so freaking cool. And there might be a new Katamari game, like, made this century, or, like, made this decade, and it's just like, like, oh my god, more Katamari content, yay. And then, that's another thing, too, that I want to stream, because, I would love to stream We Love Katamari with Henry again, like I did with the first one. But it's very reliant on whatever Henry has off. I don't know, I think he's pretty lame at the start. His dad is a Chad, though. He does grow on you. Oh my god, okay, so the King of the Cosmos in the first game, I do not like him. In We Love Katamari, he grew on me a little bit. But the Prince of the Cosmos, he's just, you know, he's just a small little dude. He's only like 3 centimeters tall. And then he grows up to like 7 centimeters if, like, by the end of the first Katamari game. So he goes through an arc, and then he's, you know, he's saving the galaxy and all, and that's really cool, and it's wonderful, and he's just, I just want to keep him in my pocket forever. Like, Prince of the Cosmos is such a good boy. I would give him a head pat, but my hand would be giant, so, you know, I would just pat him on the head with my fingers or something. What? Why am I looking up? Controller wanted me to look up, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, look at these hills. They're so freaking cool. They're not very green, but they're cool because it's nature. Why am I on the side of the road? Who do you think you would win? The Prince of the Cosmos or Kirby? Or is it one of those situations where they'd end up being friends and kill everybody who's wrong to them? I think they'd end up being friends. I think that'd be a very wholesome friendship. Although I think if Kirby saw the King of the Cosmos being mean to the Prince, I think Kirby might have something to say about it. Although that could also be cool, like a Katamari variant of Kirby. That would make him, like, super duper powerful. That'd be awesome. I think allergies would make my hand-eye coordination a little bit worse, and now my driving is a little bit more reckless, but I mean, we're an hour and like 20 minutes away from our destination, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Like, I don't like saving in the middle of the job if I can help it. So, like, I like trying to just push myself to get toward my destination. Yeah. Although that kind of mindset is also kind of dangerous if you're playing this game to sleep, too. But I mean, on stream, I mean, hey. It's like we're doing the last stretch of a road trip together. Man, I'm thinking about having burgers tomorrow. What about burgers with, like, potato chips? That can make a fun combination. And I ended up on the wrong side of the road by accident. Gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to wait until the barricade is lower, or until there is no barricade, so I can pass. Fries, I would use steak fries. I haven't had steak fries in forever, like... Now I have like a really strong hankering for waffle fries. I haven't had waffle fries in a very long time, actually. I thought I could pass through there. Crap. Well, I gotta get gas anyway, so let me try to call for help. Let me get a tow. And hopefully it's relatively close to my destination. How far away are we? I don't know, I can't tell. Oh, thank God we are closer to our destination after taking the tow truck. Oh, yeah, because sometimes wherever the tow truck takes you is kind of a crapshoot. Because sometimes it'll take you very close to your destination if there's a mechanic nearby. But sometimes it'll take you super far away to the point where you lose almost all your progress on the drive to your destination. And I've had that happen before, and there are very few situations where I've come close to rage quitting or just actually straight up rage quitting a game, and that was one of them where it's like, man, I just did all that driving for nothing. Alright, we are 18 minutes away. Says you need more practice, also skill issue. Yeah! I mean, that also happened a lot more when I was playing the game to try to sleep, so it could have also just been sleepy brain behind the wheel of the car. We're 11 minutes away, so we don't need to get gas. Hooray! I hope this doesn't teach you to drive while you're, as the kids say, EP. Yeah, I mean, driving in games is fine when you're EP! It's fine in games, but in real life, no. Not at all in real life. In real life, you need to be fully awake. And that's another thing that horrifies me about driving. It's like, oh crap, I need to be wired. I might need to be wired to stay, like, alert on the road. Oh my god, Sniffle's getting bad. Alright. Oh, and I crashed into a fence. Thankfully, it's indestructible. Okay, go. Go, truck, go. Oh my god, that reminds me. The description for this stream was almost toot toot chug a big blue truck. Because I had carefully written like a longer description, and then I accidentally erased it by accident, and I couldn't save what I had done without losing like nearly all of my the stream description. So I had to cancel out of it, and I was like, well, I don't want to have to type it all over again. So because I was kind of annoyed at the progress that I had lost, I just wrote to Chug a Chug Big Blue Truck. But then I changed it last minute. So yeah. Hey, I'm finally done. Satisfactory. We got $11,000. Hooray! Alright. We jumped one more point of a long distance driving. We're finally done. We have $19,000. We were a good... Okay, well, good's debatable. We were a truck driver. And we made monies while trucking. Yeah. Alrighty, so my allergies are getting worse. It's nice streaming again, and it's nice being back. Granted, I say that whenever I come back after an unintentional hiatus. But I mean it every time, you know? It's great. It's great being back. Today was awesome. I got introductory lessons on museum putty and clamps for furniture. I got the sniffles. I got us all some sake fries at the gas station. And also cat shenanigans happened. I hope you can buy some trucker less than $2,000. Well, maybe one day I could do the driving school mode in this game. I haven't actually tried that yet, so that'll be fun to actually try. Cause I think the developers were like, oh, a lot of people are using this game to learn how to drive. We should actually include a driving mode. Allergies. I hate them. I hate allergies. I hate them so much. But anywho, yeah. Thank you to everyone for suffering through my horrible driving. It was nice seeing you all on stream again. Normally I would do a sign off, but my eyes kind of hurt, and I'm gonna need a shot glass of allergy medication. And I can't really drive if I'm on allergy medication now, can I? So I'm gonna call it here for... I'm gonna call it here for the night. I hope you cheer up Texas this stream. Please stay out of Washington. I'll try. If I can make a lot of money in game, I will try to buy a garage in a different state, so that way you don't have to worry about seeing my horrible driving. Yeah, okay. Good night, everybody. I'll remember you, hopefully when my allergies go away. Good nighty.